We're going to be live where we normally are, and that is indeed Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and X. So give me a brief moment here, and we should be on live momentarily. Let me turn down News Nation because a lot of news coming in, just a lot of news coming in. I think a lot of you guys are aware, based on what's behind me, what we're going to be talking about. So give me a minute to get this last live stream going, and we'll start the party momentarily. But Congress, wow, you know something that I don't want to give Congress credit. I'm going to give Trump credit because without Trump, this wasn't going to happen. So give me a second. Approves Epstein bills. What we're talking about. Uh, okay, I just want to type this in so people know what the hell we're talking about. Who's bill on Epstein files? Okay, and this is going to be on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and X, where we normally generally are. So I'm almost done here. I hate having to hold you guys up, but do want to make sure we're on the proper live streams. And good evening to you folks that are filtering in. So I put the make sure you tell this thing that is these lives are not for children because TikTok, I mean, yeah, not TikTok, but YouTube absolutely will get you for that. Don't put on some shit that kids shouldn't hear. And I get it. We're gonna be talking about the Epstein files. We're gonna be talking about subjects that certainly would be not appropriate for children, even though the Epstein case is I mean, that's really all what it's about, to be honest with you. But we'll go ahead and follow the rules as usual. We don't want to cross any boundaries. Okay, so I think we're good to go. I think I got everything in here, and I want to make sure I just got it. Yeah, got everything in there. Okay, so we'll go ahead and start the live. And let's see here. There we go. Well, TikTok doesn't want to. There we go. All right, so I believe we're okay here. So we'll go ahead and start the live in looks like 3, 2, 1. What up, folks? Once again, it is indeed your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. And of course, I did do something wrong. I did not want to make this live only super fans. So give me 1 second to turn that off if I can figure out how. Did not want to do that. Holy shit. Anyway, we're going to be talking about the fact that the Congress has voted by almost unanimous. It was almost 427 to 1. Wow. 427 to 1 to release the Epstein files. So, what does that say about how? I mean, Congress is obviously now. Look, I'm not going to give Congress all of the credit. I'm going to give President Trump a host of the credit because without President Trump, Congress would have kept resisting. If Trump had said, "Do not release the Epstein files," you would not have gotten all of that. You would not have gotten all of that support from the Republican side of the aisle. In fact, only one Republican voted against releasing the Epstein files. In my humble opinion, he should have some splaining to do. I don't get why somebody would vote against it, but one Republican did indeed vote against releasing the Epstein files. And that Republican is a strong Trump, strong MAGA supporter. So take it with a grain of salt. He gave a reason. He gave a reason for why he voted that way, but everybody else in Congress voted with the Democrats. Uh, I'm actually just typing in some. So what is that? So what is it? So where are we going? By the way, the Senate is indicating they may vote on this tonight. So because it's got to go now that it's went through Congress, it's got to go through the Senate, and this also has to go through President Trump. So Congress voted yay by a huge margin, and then the Senate has to get the vote, and they have to approve it. Then it goes before President Trump to sign, and President Trump has promised already that he won't veto it. I'll leave it up to you folks if you believe that if you believe his word. I don't know. At this point, I'm gonna assume President Trump is telling the truth and he's not going to veto it. But it is Trump. I mean, Trump could come up with a million ways, a million reasons for why he changed his mind. But right now, President Trump is stating that if once this comes before him, he will also sign. And by the way, he is the one that told Congress and told the Republicans go ahead and vote to release the files. Now, in the comments, Rick Young makes an excellent point. We talked about this earlier on one of our other lives. Trump could have done this all on his own. There was no actual need to have these votes take place. There was no need for Congress to have to vote on this. There's no need for the Senate to have to vote on this. President Trump could have ordered the Justice Department on his own to release this information. So that's probably going to play into why he decided to release this information, is because of the likes of Marjorie Taylor Greene, by the way, the unsung, unexpected hero in this whole saga. But it looks like President Trump's support was waning greatly among Republicans. It looks like no matter what Trump's stance was on the release of the Epstein files, you're going to have a significant amount of Congress siding with the Democrats to release this information. Even if Trump to this day was still saying the information does not need to be released, you were going to get all of the Democrats and probably several dozen Republicans. I don't know if you're going to get as many as you've got now, where only one Republican voted against it. You probably would have got, a few dozen holding out, but you were going to get enough Republicans that this was going to happen. And that's where I'm going to submit to you that President Trump likely saw the writing on the wall that, I'm going to lose pushing not to have this released. So the best course of action is to get ahead of it and demand it be released. And that's what he's done, and that's where he's at. So we're going to talk about it. But continuing on, now President Trump has been asked questions about this, and my God, in the media, he's made some really big waves. Now, it's not shocking, it's not unusual for President Trump to make headway in the media and say crazy shit, but these last two, I want to give you a couple clips from President Trump, because in recent days he said some pretty wild shit, and this is in regards to the Epstein files.
A tense exchange that President Trump had with the press aboard Air Force One is now going viral. It stems from the words that he chose to try to get a female reporter to stop asking questions about the Epstein files. Here's the clip.
Yeah, Jennifer, go ahead.
That reporter was Catherine Lucy from Bloomberg. She's not commented on the exchange, but she has drawn the...
Now, you can hear the engines of Air Force One make it kind of hard to hear that clip. You'll hear the next one, though. But he called one of the reporters Piggy, kind of like Kermit the Frog, Miss Piggy, Kermit the Frog's girlfriend. I don't know what the reporter looks like, but he called her Piggy. And he said, "Quiet, Piggy." So apparently the reporter was talking. He did not want her to talk. This is when they're all yelling out questions, trying to get the president to answer. And he leans in and tells this woman, "Quiet, Piggy." I'm trying to see if I can, because I believe he also points at her. Let me see if I can re-roll this.
Yeah, Jennifer, go ahead.
Yeah, he does. He leans forward. He points at her. So obviously we know who he's talking about, because he's looking right at her and pointing at her. He says, "Quiet, Piggy." So I haven't seen any video footage of what this woman or pictures of what this woman looks like, but it does sound like she might be a plus size woman. I mean, he called her Piggy. Trump has always had a history of pointing out plus size people, including, I believe, his own daughter. But he's calling her Piggy. And look, and I see your comment against the grandma. I gotta agree with you 100%. It's not funny. It's not funny to say something like that to a reporter on what amounts to national, if not global TV. I mean, but it is President Trump, and him calling the reporter Piggy is, I mean, we know that's been Trump, but we're not going to end with that. There is certainly more than just that going on. And he was with the Saudi Crown Prince. I believe this was today. And once again, he has some choice words for yet another reporter trying to ask him a question. And in my humble opinion, this one is even worse than what he called the other woman on Air Force One.
Mr. President, why wait for Congress to release the Epstein files? Why not just do it now?
You know, it's not the question that I mind, it's your attitude. I think you are a terrible reporter. It's the way you ask these questions. You start off with a man who's highly respected, asking him a horrible, insubordinate, and just a terrible question. And you can even ask that same exact question nicely. You're all psyched up. Somebody psychs you over at ABC. They're going to psych it. You're a terrible person and a terrible reporter. As far as the Epstein files is, I have nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. I threw him out of my club many years ago because I thought he was a sick pervert. And I guess I turned out to be right. But you know who does have? Bill Clinton, Larry Summers, who ran Harvard, was with him every single night.
No, he had nothing to do with Epstein, but he's talking about Bill Clinton. He's saying Larry Summers was there. I mean, this is a laundry list of nothing but this isn't that even dry snitching anymore. He's snitching on these guys outright. But I do want to hear because he continues to address this reporter, and it's nothing short of memorable.
Weekend, they lived together. They went to his island many times. I never did. Andrew Weissman, I hear. All these guys were friends of his. You don't even talk about those people. You just keep going on the Epstein files. And what the Epstein is a Democrat hoax to try and get me not to be able to talk about the $21 trillion that I talked about today.
Okay, now he's saying $21 trillion. He's talking about something he's done great financially for the country. And he's right. It's going to be overshadowed by Epstein. But you hear him just simply trashing the Democrat Party, and he refers to this whole Epstein saga as a Democrat hoax. I want to ask you folks, and I'm going to talk not just to the folks watching, but primarily to my beloved MAGA. I'm talking to my conservatives, my Republicans, my MAGA viewers. How many of you folks believe that this whole Epstein thing is a Democrat hoax? In other words, it's not even real. There's nothing to see here. Epstein, I suppose, did nothing wrong, and the Democrats are making it all up. How many folks believe that this is a Democrat hoax? Because President Trump is constantly stating, this isn't the first time, I could find clips of him going back several months calling this a Democrat hoax. But how many of you folks, I'm talking to MAGA in particular, I'm not talking to necessarily the liberals, but MAGA in particular. How many folks on the MAGA side of things believe that this whole Epstein issue is a Democrat hoax?
Be able to talk about the $21 trillion that I talked about today. It's a hoax. Now, I just got a little report, and I put it in my pocket, of all the money that he's given to Democrats. He gave me none, zero, no money to me, but he gave money to Democrats. And people are wise to your hoax. And ABC's your company, your crappy company, is one of the perpetrators. And I'll tell you something.
So why not just sign it now?
I think the license should be taken away from ABC because your news is so fake and it's so wrong. And we have a great commissioner, the chairman, who should look at that, because I think when you come in and when you're 97% negative to Trump, and then Trump wins the election in a landslide, that means obviously your news is not credible.
Now I'm going to stop right there. He says that ABC, by the way, is 97% negative of him. I don't know if that's true or not, but let's say it is. ABC is 97% negative of Trump, and because he's won it by a landslide, that shows that network has zero credibility and therefore should lose his license. Now I do want to point out that Biden and Obama won their elections handedly as well. Obama certainly won by quite a good margin in 2008 and 2012, and Biden won in 2020. And Fox News is probably 97% negative of all of them. However, President Trump has never stated Fox News should lose its license. We've seen Peter Doocy literally trash, what is her name? What was her name? Janine St. Pierre, whatever the Biden spokeswoman's name was. I cannot think of her name right now, the African American woman. Ducey was trashing her every night with gotcha questions. Not once did the Biden administration state your network is 97% negative and you should lose your broadcasting license. So I don't know where this is coming from. I don't know why President Trump apparently thinks that networks should cover him positively or even fairly when his predominant network he contacts all the time is Fox News. I'm assuming he realizes Fox News does not cover candidates fairly either, but maybe that does not matter in President Trump's eyes. But you hear him trash that reporter. So that's 2 in 2 days. And like I said before, this will be historic records, calling one reporter piggy and things like that. But I do want to talk to you folks on whether or not you believe the Epstein files will become public information, even though 427-1 margin by the Congress. Thune is suggesting the Senate may vote in favor of this tonight. He's already promised not to amend it, so it could pass the Senate tonight. And of course, President Trump has already agreed to sign it. But I want to tell you folks, before we continue on, there is one other hurdle that's not being discussed much. Remember last week when President Trump ordered the Department of Justice by way of Pam Bondi to do an investigation on the ties of prominent Democrats to Epstein, which you just heard him state here. He's talking about Larry Summers and Bill Clinton and all of those folks. Well, remember when he told the Justice Department to do that last week? Pam Bondi, of how high should I jump fame, he tells Pam Bondi to jump. Her response is going to be how high. She's already indicated she's going to proceed with that investigation. So the reason I'm bringing that up is because when there is an active investigation, it gives the Justice Department the right by law to state, or better yet, to temporarily refuse to release files until the investigation has concluded. Point I'm making is that even if Congress, the Senate, and the president himself agrees that the files should be released, the Justice Department can temporarily suspend that while an investigation concludes. And look, it's pretty easy to drag the investigation out well beyond Trump's term when you consider how many individuals that are orbiting around Epstein's memory. So this is a way for them to vote to release the files and not actually do it. Keep in mind, President Trump, you probably remember him stating he would release his taxes after the audit investigation concluded. And he was able to drag that out for a substantial period of time. Now, obviously, he never intended to release his taxes anyway, because he never voluntarily did it. But he was able to use that excuse for an extended period of time. This could easily be used by Pam Bondi to drag out releasing the files until Trump's term is concluded. But I'm going to ask you folks by way of yes or no in the comments. Do you think Pam Bondi would even do something like that? Do you think Trump, his administration, and Pam Bondi would even do something like that? Try to use the Justice Department as a way to temporarily refuse to release the files based on an investigation that Trump initiated himself. So Trump could go on television and brag that I actually am in favor of transparency. I voted to have the files released, knowing that it was his investigation that's preventing you from getting them. So think about this. A good way to play a shell game. Last but not least, this is probably some really good news for the Democrat Party. And we'll start taking callers the minute I can make this happen. But this is something that just broke today, and I'm sure Democrats are going to cheer this.
News out of the state of Texas. A panel of judges on a federal court have ruled against against using that highly controversial redrawn congressional map in the Lone Star State. This ahead of next year's midterm elections. Instead, lawmakers will use the lines drawn back in 2021. Now, those maps signed into law this year would have given Republicans in the state of Texas a shot at picking up 5 more seats in Congress. Lots to break apart here. Live to CBS News, politics reporter Hunter Woodall. So, Hunter, this is a huge development because this was a hard-fought battle in the state of Texas. We saw all of the drama that happened leading up to it. But I would imagine that California and other states looking to redraw their maps are watching this ruling closely.
Reed, this is a massive ruling. It has truly tremendous implications for next year's midterms. I've been reading through the pages before we started talking. And what's clear here is obviously this panel of judges, it was a 2-to-1 decision. They have ruled against the Texas map that would have essentially helped Republicans have a good shot at winning 5 congressional seats that are currently held by Democrats under the old lines. Now, everything here, Texas was the center.
Now, I won't play because a lot of this is his opinion, but understand that those 5 seats that Trump was expecting to help thwart any Democrat progress in the midterms right now has been suspended. Now, I assume Trump's going to take this all the way to the Supreme Court like he does every single case he loses because the Supreme Court is viewed as some sort of safe haven. So we'll see how that goes. But right now, Texas has to go by way of the way things were set up back in 2021. And by the way, just think about that. Dencal, shout out to you. Thank you for the support. Dencal, appreciate that. The idea that they redistrict their seats in 2021 and they're doing it again in 2025, that alone really should raise eyebrows. It should not be done again that quickly. But obviously, Trump said he wanted 5 more seats. And they made no secret about the fact that they were trying to gerrymander the districts. What's crazy about this is because Texas did it without requesting any permission or putting it up for a vote amongst the people. They just did it at the gubernatorial level. The difference is California did it, but they let the people vote on it. And the people voted in favor of it. So it's very possible that Texas could lose the right to do what they're doing, but California could continue to do it anyway. We'll see, but that is where we stand right now. Is it's out in Texas and it's still currently in California. So it's not been a good day for President Trump. So that is our show today. It's going to be all about the Epstein files, all about Congress approving it, whether the Republican Party genuinely wants the files to get released, or will they try the 4th option I mentioned, which is using the Department of Justice to block it anyway. So tap the screen, get the likes on up to 20,000. Looking in the comments, we'll start right off with when Obama is arrested, please remain calm. Steve, you're still talking about arresting President Obama? Really? I don't know if that's going to happen, but I'm sure it would make a hell of a lot of conservatives happy to see Obama. What crime? First thing I want to know is what crime is Obama guilty of that he committed? I'm assuming at least a decade ago. What crime are we trying to get Obama for? Yeah! Appreciate the cap there, Mike. Going straight to the box. We'll go to one and only Dencal. Good evening, Dencal. Welcome to the program. So let me know if you can hear me, by the way. I'll make sure I got the volume up. But it looks like the gerrymandering is out in Texas, but in California. If Texas gets banned, let's say it goes to the Supreme Court, and Texas is banned even by the Supreme Court, should California rescind what they are doing?
No.
Wouldn't it be cheating?
No. It would be a reaction to what they're doing. Remember, they're doing it in other states too.
Okay. But
The only reason why they're saying that they can't do it in Texas is because they understand that they're doing it and they're affecting a racial minority. That's the only reason why they say they can't do it.
Oh shit! They're probably affecting right because Indiana will be 100% red, I believe, if they do it in Indiana. Chances are they're affecting racial minorities in every state they're doing it.
Right, but it's the way you word it when you write the legislation. It's how it can get through or not. See, they didn't think about that. They used Trump telling them that he wanted those 5 seats. They created some shit out of thin air to say that in the middle of a census that they're just going to redraw the lines, and the law or whatever they tried to use was not sufficient. Now, see, California did it differently. California, they put it in there, and they got their citizens to vote on it. Everybody got a chance to voice their opinion. So those are 2 different situations. But the outcome could be you could go from trying to get those 5 seats in Texas, they get shot down. Now California comes in and they get 4 extra seats. That's a 9-seat shift.
Yeah.
In what Trump was trying to do. And that's just those 2 states.
I'll tell you something else, Dan Keller, I'm hearing is that when you factor in the unhappiness among the Hispanic population, many are suggesting that even in Texas, even if they were to leave it gerrymandered the way they've done it, they still may not get those 5 seats because there are so many disgruntled Hispanics. Did you hear now that they're in Charlotte? I heard this on the news today because, ICE is performing raids all over Charlotte. 21,000 students are marked absent in school because they're fearful of what may happen. 21,000 students in that town did not show up to school. So the anger, concern, fear, whatever you want to call it, among Hispanics is so great that I don't know if the gerrymander is necessarily going to work.
From what I saw, they were snatching people out of nice upscale townhomes. I mean, we've moved so far from the rapists and murderers that we just literally grabbing old ladies out of cars who got traffic tickets on their record, and I mean, it's getting crazy. And I think just like we would say, when you got a situation like you have maybe in Gaza or something, when you split the Palestinians from from the Hamas, the more people you keep taking out that's legitimately not Hamas, that are just regular Palestinians, the more Hamas you create.
Yeah.
And so the more people that keep getting snatched, their family members are becoming more and more anti what Trump said, is because they really believe that he was just coming after the bad hombre.
Yeah. It makes me wonder what what this will do in regards to future Hispanic support for the Republican Party, because Trump absolutely grew Republican support from Hispanics in this last election. I mean, he actually performed fairly well compared to what happened in 2020 or 2016. He grew black support too. But certainly with the Hispanics being dragged out and car windows smashed and things like that, there's a lot of unhappy blacks, but the images of what's happening to Hispanics is significantly worse. So would it be safe to assume he's lost a few Hispanic voters?
It's more than a few.
Yeah.
More than a few. And like you said, it's a real possibility that those people shift. And I don't care what MAGA reacts talking about, everybody down here in South Beach, we still support. All of those Cubans that he rescinded their TPS status, didn't allow them to travel back and forth, and they can't even visit their family. He can't tell me everybody is just all right and happy with this shit.
Yeah, and also too,
those people wanted their family members to come over from Cuba. Now some of them is getting sent back.
And also too, it probably should be added that they didn't exactly trade anything for something beneficial, because the economy and things like that they may have gotten out of it for what they are giving up, that hasn't materialized either. So right now, if you look at the Hispanic community and ask them, okay, well, what has President Trump did for you folks since you showed him extra support? I don't know what they would have to answer.
I don't either. I mean, but look, it's hard because sometimes, having empathy for people who aren't even protective of their own sovereignty is kind of hard to do. But like, if all of these Hispanic people really thought he was coming to get just a bad hombre, why they not out there turning over all of the bad hombres? It's the same thing they say to the black community. They say, know criminals are in your neighborhoods. Why are you guys not doing nothing about it? Well, if they felt like all of them people was bad hombres, they should be the ones turning them in.
Ain't nobody gonna snitch then, Cal. I mean, ain't nobody doing no shit like. First of all, snitching is dangerous. That's the first thing. Ain't nobody go. I mean, like I always tell when I'm having these debates with people that are pro law enforcement and things like that. I always bring law enforcement don't even snitch on themselves. I mean, if one bad cop is not, you cannot expect one good cop to snitch on one bad one. Because even in amongst law enforcement circles, snitching can be to your detriment. They can fuck with your career, sometimes your safety. Even cops don't snitch on each other. So I don't know why they expect the citizens to do it.
I know, I'm just joking.
Oh, okay.
I understand being in the inner city, and you got a group of guys hanging out on the corner, and if you know that if they find out who it was that snitched, you and your whole bloodline will be eliminated. So
Right.
like, I get it. I'm just throwing the same logic back at them that they constantly throw at us. That's all I was doing.
Shit, they not even snitching on Trump. I mean, I'm sure some members of Congress know that everything that's being said about Trump is not 100% lies. I mean, the guy is now saying that the Epstein stuff is a Democrat hoax. Who the hell believes that? I mean, and I'm asking MAGA. No, would Marjorie Taylor Greene, who else amongst Republicans right now? Well, let's go back a week because of what's happened to Marjorie Taylor Greene. But if you went back a week, who else is more MAGA among the Republican Party than Marjorie Taylor Greene?
She was at the top of the list. Her
Right.
and Gates, and he got kicked out for messing with kids. So I mean that was their leadership structure.
Right.
That's who was leading the push. She was all up in Congress, calling out Biden when he had his State of the Union, calling him a liar, yelling and laughing with her "Make America Great Again" hat, calling him names. Yeah, she was the MAGA. She was the leader.
So if you feel that Marjorie Taylor Greene was genuine MAGA up to a week ago, how the hell would you be convinced that the Epstein stuff, with her leading the charge to get to the bottom of it, how the hell would anybody believe it's a Democrat hoax? There is not a Democratic cell in Marjorie Taylor Greene's body. So clearly this is not something that's made up by the Democrats.
I can tell you one thing. I'm starting to believe now that she really believes some of the crazy shit she says. She's talking now, and I'm not trying to be anti-Semitic or nothing, but she started talking about them folks over there across the water controlling everything. She ain't down with it. She not down with AIPAC. They try to lobby her. She ain't down with it. She's talking about some stuff that's real, and I think once she started saying that stuff out loud and people started pushing back on her, who she thought was in her corner, she's starting to realize, like, this not going to end well for one side.
It may not end well for her. She may end up being the reason we wear freedom T-shirts again or something like that if she keeps talking. I don't know. Because, listen, a lot of folks on both sides of the aisle are big fans, big supporters of the AIPAC, the J community. I don't even want to say the word because it's got to the point. It's got to the point where you say something bad about Israel and they fuck with you in America. So, I mean, I don't want to say anything bad about Israel.
Look, they passed laws, and he made executive orders about that kind of stuff. Like, if you say something bad about them in public, like, they can, like it's against the law type stuff. So it's crazy.
What are they suggesting? That you may soon be accused of having Jewish derangement syndrome and pass a law? I don't know, but I don't want to listen. I got nothing but the love for the Jews. This is for information purposes only. So
what they say? Look, I purchased from the TikTok shop.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna have to go ahead and get me a 6-point star just to wear it, and that's no insult to my gangsters in Chicago because the 6-point star means something else. I'm just simply saying that right now. Did you see that now? Obviously, you're not in New York. Most of our viewers are not, including myself. But during the Mamdani debates, They asked all of them folks where would they like to go, and everybody but Mom Donnie said the first place they would like to visit is Israel. I mean, you're seeing Candace Owens and everybody's like, why the hell are you guys in New York talking about you want to go to Israel? All of them said it. Every one of them on the debate stage. Even the Republican candidate said it.
What I forgot which one it was, but somebody it was one of those politicians that said once you become a politician or once you become like you get an elected office or whatever, they literally like you have to take a pilgrimage over to there and you have to talk to the leadership over there and if you're a really high politician, you have to go over there and you have to make a wish at the Wailing Wall. Not a lot of people know what that is.
I don't even know what it is.
A Wailing Wall is a place. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's like it's actually a wall. It's a wall that's like really high up. I don't know, maybe 50, 100 feet. But you can see. You know how you can see like the rings in the tree. Okay. How it represents so much time. Yeah. You can see like each civilization in Israel as it was conquered, and they would just pile, they would just bulldoze everything and build on top of it. So you can see all of these layers of the history of Israel. And that's where all of the devout J people go to worship. And when you go there, it's so many people that go up to this wall and they write little prayers and they stick it in the cracks of the wall. It's called the Wailing Wall because everybody there in front of it is praying. So it just sounds like a wail. Just, it's like 1,000 people. But all of the American presidents, you can look it up, they all make a pilgrimage there, including Trump. He went there, he put on a yarmulke and went and prayed in front of the Wailing Wall. So
I'm gonna give, but you gotta give it up for Trump. There's photos of Trump holding an LGBTQ flag. Trump is going to do whatever benefits Trump. I mean, I gotta give the man. I mean, we remember the woman. We love you, Donald Trump, and she was hugging him. I mean, he was hugging. I mean, look, that man is probably the best salesman America has ever seen. He's an opportunist. He's going. I don't care what it is. That dude will walk down the street in Gaza and hug the Palestinians if he thought it would benefit him. I mean, so I can't hate on him for doing it. It's got him a free jet.
Right. It's kind of like when he said, hey, look at the blacks. Look at my blacks.
Look at my African American. Yeah. I can't hate on the man that can sell ice to Eskimos. He's really good at that. So, but I mean,
it's gonna be interesting to see, like you said, if he was gonna try to use that tactics of stuff being under investigation.
Do you think he might? Do you think he would use Pam Bondi in the Justice Department?
I think if he heard you say that today, he would definitely say, that's it, right there.
Well, you can understand that Steve Bannon and some of them folks are recommending it to him, so I ain't the first to come up with it, I'm sure. But yeah, I mean, they legally have the right by law to say there's an investigation ongoing right now, so, we're not going to release the files because it might, it may hinder the investigation. So, and they could easily drag that out for another 3 years, considering how many people are being investigated around Jeffrey Epstein.
Right, but they can't just make a broad stroke and say everything. They might say, okay, Bill Clinton is being investigated, so therefore the stuff about Bill Clinton will have to be redacted. But they couldn't, like, they're talking about 5 terabytes of information. They couldn't sweep up everything, and if they would, they would be redacting the people that they claim has got something to do with it. They would be redacting Bill Clinton. They would be redacting Larry Summers and anybody else that's a Democrat. So I understand what you're saying, but it's a bigger legal issue than just saying we investigating people, so we can't release nothing.
Well, speaking of redacted, I don't know why I didn't think about this early because I would have had the video queued up for it. But what is his name? Mark. I think his name is Mark Epstein. He's Jeffrey's living brother. He was on Chris Cuomo with News Nation last night, and he stated that he's been told by reliable sources. Now, this guy is so scared for his life, he only talks on the phone. He doesn't even put his photo on screen. But he stated, in addition to saying he don't think his brother would have ever taken his own life, he believes that was a hit job. But he also said that the reason Trump is authorizing the release of the files is because they are indeed scrubbing them of Republicans. So it could be similar to what you just said, where you can't just use a blanket statement. Well, you just take out the people you don't want to get harmed. But he is saying that some reliable source, which he obviously can't name, has told him that they are scrubbing Republicans from the files. Any possibility that could happen?
Yes. I mean, have you ever seen Trump do such a turnaround?
No.
I mean, he went from inviting people and scaring them in the situation room to saying, all right, just let it go. That's not his style unless he knows he has another iron in the fire. He's not just gonna say, okay, let him do it.
So in other words, we're not on the cusp of about to. We thought we were about to receive something, but in reality, we might not be receiving shit.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna receive anything. I think that's good enough. I think that's good enough for us to really blow them down in the midterms. I think there's enough MAGA people that they really happy this stuff is about to come out now. Even though Trump keeps saying he don't want them. MAGA wanted this more than anybody.
But if Trump had told Congress to keep fighting, because you got a 427-1 vote. If Trump had told Congress to keep fighting, do you think that would have happened?
What did you hear Mike Johnson when he said he was going to vote for it?
Was this before or after Trump?
It was today, right before the vote.
Okay.
When they talk about everything before they do the vote.
Okay.
He said, if you ask me, I think it probably might be a unanimous vote. He's telegraphing this shit already.
Yeah.
But then he said, we believe this is going to mess up all of these people's lives, and innocent people are going to be caught up in it. So we're hoping when it gets to the Senate. So he knew there was a losing cause in the House. Once they swore in Gravalia, he knew they had lost. So they had to try to save face and say, okay, with Trump, we just gonna go ahead because we've got nothing to hide.
And that's the reason, I do got to move it on, but that's the reason why I felt that Trump made it about faces, because he knew no matter what my stance is, Marjorie Taylor Greene has got enough people on her side to get this released. So my best course of action is to get ahead of it and come across as transparent and suggest that I want it released too. But I think that he realized the writing was on the wall, was that you got a lot of power, but you're not about to stop Congress. This woman has enough, because to me, him attacking Marjorie Taylor Greene is probably the worst thing he could have done, because MAGA knows that woman is about it. So all of a sudden, you starting to call her, what did he call, all these names he called her and things like that. This woman is on your side.
A traitor.
Yeah.
Like somebody who has voted with him 99.99999% is now a traitor.
Right.
If you say the same documents that he said he ain't got nothing to worry about, she's steady to this day saying, I don't believe he's in it. I just want to get him released. But now she's a traitor?
Yeah. And I think the overwhelming majority of MAGA, but by the way, she is receiving death threats. She says she did get a bunch of pizza sent to her house and they were trying to dox her. So there are some MAGA that are on the Trump train so much that even Marjorie Taylor Greene can get ran over too. But I think there's enough MAGA that knows this woman is being mistreated by the president, because she's been down with us. She's been loyal to the cause, and this ain't right. So I think she was going to get enough Republicans in Congress just based on that, but it wouldn't have been 427-1.
Look, I was reading some of the statements from people in her district in Georgia, and they with her. They don't care about none of that stuff. They like, we will vote for her again. She is really trying to do what the Republicans said they were supposed to do and reveal this ring of pedos, and she could probably still win an election with him calling her a traitor, because she's in such a safe district down here in Georgia, where it's pretty poor,
yeah.
and it's not,
Well, as Jay-Z once said, a woman is always a Negro's biggest downfall, but this time it ain't Negroes. I got to move it on, then, Cal. Appreciate you coming on.
I see this Deborah Richards say the Senate already passed it. I know they was trying to rush to get it.
Wow. So that must be breaking news because it wasn't coming across before I went live a few minutes ago. But I'll check it out. Thank you, Denko. All right, moving on. And I think Senator Thune had said that they could vote on it by tonight. So, wow. Already the Senate is passing. So then it goes before President Trump for his signature. What I'm more concerned with is if Pam Bondi, the head of the Justice Department, tries to use this investigation that Trump ordered on prominent Democrats' connection to Epstein as an excuse to not release the files. I'm more concerned with seeing if that's a reality. And then, of course, you got Epstein's brother claiming that they are scrubbing Republicans from the files. I don't know where to go with that, but I will say this, and I'll go back to the box. Tap the screen, get the likes on up to 40,000. I will say this. This isn't about Democrat and Republicans. Both sides had people that were hanging out with Epstein and enjoying what he provided. Trump is calling it a Democrat hoax and saying that Epstein is a Democrat problem. Oddly enough, I don't think he realizes that when he was in his prime, there are all sorts of videos of him saying, I identify as a Democrat. Like, you were a Democrat during those days. So I don't know why he thinks that's going to help, but he is saying it's a Democrat hoax, and it's a different. This is not. Listen, they got royalty from the United Kingdom that's caught up in this shit. They got nothing to do with parties. These are just dudes that wanted to enjoy the services of underage children. Nothing to do with party affiliation. Everybody likes pleasure, and these men like pleasure in some of the most heinous of ways. So I don't know why he's trying to say it's Democrat. It's not Democrat. Looking in the comments, is Trump going to sign it? He's busy with Prince from Saudi Arabia. Look, if the Congress passes this by, what was it, 400 and whatever the hell was it, something to one. What did I say? I forgot the numbers, but only one member of Congress voted against it. If the Senate votes in favor of it, and then Trump decides, well, I'm too busy to sign it, that ain't gonna fly. You say he's gonna be too busy, that ain't gonna fly. Trump played the swamp like a violin. I thought Trump was gonna drain the swamp. That's what we were told. He was here to drain the swamp. Republicans laugh to you all. I don't know what you're saying there, Billy Buckeye, but I don't think Republicans are laughing today. They may be laughing tomorrow. They may have been laughing yesterday. Today is not a good day for the Republican Party. When you look at what happened in Texas with the gerrymandering being struck down and what's going on with this is not a good day for Republicans. In fact, the last week or so has not been good for the Republican parties because the shutdown wasn't a big win for the Republican Party either. And now, since the government has been open a week or so, and you had the congresswoman in Arizona get sworn in, the final vote of the Epstein file where they knew they were in trouble. This has not been a good week. Marjorie Taylor Greene herself has done a lot of damage to her credibility coming from Trump. Marjorie Taylor Greene has done a lot of damage to Trump. That's probably why he's calling her all those names of traitor and all this shit. But it hasn't been a good week for the Republican Party. There's plenty of good weeks for them. This ain't it. Let me go back to the box. It's not a good day for the establishment. Okay, I can live with that backpack pillar. I can live with that. The Senate voted unanimously to release the files. Yes, and I do see that. I'm watching News Nation. Real quick, before we go to the comments, Trump released a statement I just seen. I do want to, well, maybe I'm not going to be able to read it momentarily while I'm hosting a live, but Trump has already been on Truth Social saying something about what the Senate just did. I don't know what it feels like to be Trump, and God knows how those other lower members, other folks that are caught up in this shit must feel. James Harper, good evening. Welcome to the program. How is it possible when so many have elections went to Dems? What are you saying there, Harper? Harper, good evening.
What's going on, Tim?
Not much of that. What were you saying? What were you saying to Hanson Services? How is that possible when so many elections?
Oh, he said because he said that the shutdown was great for Republicans. It's like, no, that's not it.
No, I don't know what. Listen, the Republicans emerged without having to cave to anything the Democrats wanted. So if you want to say that the Republican Party did not bend or bow to the Democrats, that may be perceived as a victory. But when you look at how the American voters view the Republican Party, whether it's SNAP, federal payments, Trump firing people and threatening to fire people throughout the shit. I don't think it helped the Republican Party out at all. Go ahead and celebrate that the Democrats didn't get any damn thing, but neither did the Republicans.
Yeah, it was a lose for the country.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Exactly. And that lose is happening under Republican leadership.
But they don't want to admit that. They'll still say it was the Dems' fault.
Well, Trump is saying that the Epstein saga is a whole Democratic hoax. He's saying that this whole Epstein thing was created by the Democrats.
Everything that's supposed to be like something that he's supposed to take responsibility for is end up being a hoax every time.
But do you like what I asked my last caller? Do you believe the right? Do you believe the right agrees with him that Epstein was created by the Democrats?
How was Epstein created by the Democrats when it was Bill Barr that led the charge on getting them convicted?
I'm not saying it's true. I'm just simply asking, do you believe that MAGA believes him? I mean, MAGA tends to believe, MAGA believes he won the 2020 election.
Won't believe anything that Trump will tell them.
Even this? You think
Yes.
they, I don't know.
You see a lot of MAGA now that's talking about it wasn't as bad as it was, or nothing's going to come of this because he's not in it. If he's not in it, this should have been released months ago.
Well, but how do you respond to folks who will suggest that, well, if it should have been released, then why the hell didn't Biden release it?
Because the records were sealed, because it was an ongoing investigation. That's why Trump is trying to do that now. If there's an ongoing investigation, all the Justice Department has to do is say, oh, well, we have an investigation going, so we can't release anything.
Yeah. So in other words, everything was sealed, couldn't be released under who was Biden's who the hell was Biden's DOJ?
Merrick Garland.
Yeah, okay, so Merrick Garland didn't do it. And now Pam Bondi can take the same playbook and say, well, Merrick Garland didn't do it, why should we?
Exactly, but my thing is, he knew this was coming out. If he was so looking forward to it coming out, why did he have that meeting in the Situation Room?
Because he saw this situation about to happen, and he was trying to stop. It literally was a situation room. He should have had the guy from Jersey Shore in there, because it truly was a situation. My guess was he had it in a situation room to keep it, obviously the confidentiality of it. He was trying to convince Lauren Boebert. He was trying to convince Lauren Boebert from coming. She was turning into a little Marjorie Taylor Greene herself.
But see, that's the thing. If it was so good, why is he trying to convince his own people to back out of it before he decided, hey, we're gonna go a different route and just try to block it from coming out a different way?
I can tell you why. Listen, at the end of the day, I know this Epstein stuff does not look good for our party, but understand why our party is in power. The Democrats want to destroy the whole damn country. So I need you to understand, as much as you are intrigued by this is a small piece of the puzzle that is going to get in the way of making America great again. Are you with me on this? That is how I'm wording it. That's how I'm thinking, is that, look, you can understand 90% of the things I've done for this great nation has been favorable to us all. 10% you don't like. But if you put the Democrats in, you're going to get 95% of shit you don't want. So are we on board or what? That's how you do it.
That's the delusional thinking that MAGA has.
I'm just telling you how to word it. Now, see, you're not the only one in the comments using the word delusional. But, at the end of the day, Trump is the nation's best salesman.
No, he's not.
Shit.
He's only a good salesman to those that are gullible to take it.
Well, shit.
Everyone else sees through it.
Well, he got 77 million votes, so he did a lot of selling.
There was more people that set out that election than actually voted for him.
Well, then that means Kamala Harris was a terrible saleswoman herself.
It's the same thing that happened to Bernie Sanders when he tried to go for it. Every time they sit there and they screw the people that the country wants, they sit out the election. That's what ends up happening, and that's how he ends up winning.
Well, I will say, in regards to Bernie Sanders, I mean, he's obviously running as a socialist and things like that. Kamala Harris didn't claim to be a socialist. I just think that she was not a good candidate. I mean, she couldn't even tell you what she would do differently than Biden. So she was not a. And I know Gangsta Grandma kills me for saying it, but I think Kamala Harris was just a bad candidate.
She was in a bad position because she still represented the government, but she can't sit there and, as a representative, say, "Hey, I don't think what he's doing is good." At the same time, running to be the next leader.
Well, I mean, you see what Marjorie Taylor Greene is doing. I mean, regardless of what you may think, what people may think about Marjorie Taylor Greene, she is actually separating herself from the president at great peril to not only her career but her safety. So if she could do it, Kamala Harris could have done it.
She's doing that to save her career because she sees the writing on the wall. She knows that as soon as Trump is gone, everybody that was MAGA is going to go down in flames.
Well, then maybe Kamala Harris should have did that because a lot of the folks that were riding with Biden went down in flames. Maybe Kamala Harris, because you see where Kamala Harris's political career is right now. So maybe she should have took a page from the playbook of Marjorie Taylor Greene.
If she would have took that page, and a lot of people wouldn't have respect for it. It's like you either stick to what you've been doing, or get out of the way.
That's the problem, though, James. What had Kamala Harris been doing? I mean, VP don't do much.
We know the VP's main job is the tiebreaker vote and the backup in case the president goes out. That's the only two jobs that the VP has.
Yeah, but if the polls tell you most people believe your boss is out of his fucking mind and has dementia, and because I'm sure Kamala Harris is getting the poll numbers like everybody else. And Biden was a very unpopular president at the time she said she wouldn't do nothing different from him. You got to do what Marjorie Taylor Greene, what you're saying Marjorie Taylor Greene is doing. Marjorie Taylor Greene realizes Trump's opinion on...
By your logic right now, Vance should be sitting there saying, "Hey, look, I'm not doing what he's doing. I don't know why he's doing all of this," because we're saying the same thing about Trump. He's got dementia. He's sitting there wandering around places lost. He's rambling in his sentences. He's doing all of that.
That ain't bad logic. I mean, because like you just said, a lot of MAGA could end up losing their political careers behind rolling with Trump, and JD Vance is going to be number one in regards to that. I mean, yeah, JD Vance. If Trump does not succeed, and you get a Democrat in office after this coming in 2028, you'll probably never politically hear from Vance again. That's going to probably be it for him.
It'd probably be the same thing if Trump does succeed. You want to know why? Because it's going to be they're going to have to do a primary. Vance lost every time he went for a primary anywhere.
Yeah, but when you got Trump's endorsement, it's different though. I mean, Trump could damn near push through a dead dog. People vote based on what Trump says. I mean, he could push. If Trump is endorsing Vance, I don't know.
If that was the case, then all them people that Trump... In fact, the only time that Trump ever wins was when he was on the ballot the first and third time. Any other time he's endorsed somebody, they lost bad.
That is true. He endorsed Dr. Oz for Senate, I think. Yeah, he lost a lot of elections. I guess you're right about that. He went against Governor Kemp down in Georgia. He lost that. Yeah, he's lost a lot of elections endorsing people. So I guess I'd have to retract that statement. So you think Vance is done as well then?
Vance is done because Vance is a pushover. He flip-flops. How you go from being a drag queen to being an ultra-conservative, and then how you...
What the hell? What do you mean a drag queen? You say Vance was a drag queen?
Vance dressed as drag. He's done all kinds of things at one point, and what ends up happening? He ends up switching on that.
JD Vance he does have some really nice looking eyes. I gotta say, I never told a man, you got some nice looking eyes. I don't know. JD Vance is a drag queen. I don't know about that. But do you think he wear makeup? Because he does have really dark traces around his eyes. Is that natural?
He's been known to wear makeup.
Okay.
him and old drunk Pete Hegseth, they wear makeup all the time.
Now, Pete Hegseth, I guess he's trying to be a pretty boy. I don't know. Because I do believe Pete Hegseth's looks is what got Trump to appoint him. I don't think it's based on his actual record. I think he has the G.I. Joe look that Trump wants, personifies the military, a fit guy, the image. I think Trump appointed him more based on image than anything else.
And that's the whole thing with MAGA. MAGA is about optics instead of actually fixing issues.
That's what they say about the liberals, though, James. They say the liberals are in favor of DEI and affirmative action. You say MAGA does that?
Yeah, MAGA does that. And guess what? DEI is not what MAGA thinks.
Didn't earn it.
MAGA thinks DEI is about getting black people or people of color in because of the fact that they're just people of color. No, DEI helped more white women and veterans get in than anybody else.
But the issue on this is that if DEI helped more white women, why the hell aren't there more white women defending DEI?
Because they don't even know that they were DEI hires. They don't tell you that you're a DEI hire. It's just you get into the program, like all it's meant for is to give you an opportunity to get in the door.
So what are you saying? The African Americans and the gays or the LGBTQ, they all know it, but the white women don't?
No, nobody knows who's a DEI hire until somebody from on top points out and say, "Hey, you're a DEI hire." But they don't do that. No one. It's just a scapegoat.
Yeah. Well, I definitely think it's been scapegoated to mean more racial shit than anything else. And I do see your comment there, Dennis Calhoun. Yeah, we talked about that. The Senate has agreed to pass the bill unanimously. So now what is it? Well, if it's unanimous in the Senate and damn near unanimous in Congress, I mean, I don't think Trump can veto it anyway. I think it's veto proof at that point.
No. It's veto proof. If it's 2/3 in both parts of the Senate, both parts of Congress, it's beyond the threshold for a veto. It should just automatically be released.
You know the crazy thing, though, James? When has we ever been this united? I mean, you got, out of all of the Congress, 500 plus of them or whatever, and you got 100 senators, only one dude, and I don't know how that's going to look on him historically, voted against the Epstein file. One guy in Congress voted against releasing the files, but when have we ever been this united?
Never. Not even with 9/11 were we disunited.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see what the vote was after Pearl Harbor. Go ahead.
You got to remember, like, Trump already said, like, hey, yeah, you guys do this. Like, when has any party, like, just outright just followed, like, what the commander-in-chief said? They usually go with what they want to.
Yeah. I'd be curious. I may look it up after the show. I'd be curious because when FDR said, on December 7th, a sudden and deliberate attack by the Japanese, I'd be curious to see what Congress voted when he declared war. What was the vote totals from Congress right after, December 7, 1941? But this is a very, very united bill. It's been a long time since we've seen anything where this many folks were all on the same side of it.
It's because the optics is bad, and on this bill, there was no anonymous vote. You had to go on record with your name to say, hey, yes or no. So this was a very bad look if you decided to go against it. That's why they all went for it.
Bro, shit, the bad optics. It's been bad optics ever since they've been pushing back on Epstein. I mean, some of the things that Trump has said from day one has been bad optics. As we brought up, calling Bobart in the Situation Room, that's bad optics. Everybody in that room
right.
Yeah, everybody in that room will be interviewed in the future about how bad that looked that he was trying to stop her from releasing this.
Yeah, they will be interviewed on that, but you got to remember, Trump is all about saving himself.
Yeah.
And his main his main go-to for saving himself is stall tactics. That's why he went on public telling Pam Bondi, hey, investigate these guys for the Epstein stuff. Yeah.
And that may end up being his saving grace. I got to move it on, James, but that may be what he uses to delay the releasing of the files. So we'll certainly be talking about it if that's the case. James, thanks for coming through.
No problem.
Anytime. All right, looking in the comments though, phone dude, you mean the caller? What do you mean? Only person that could beat Vance is Ron. Ron DeSantis. You think Ron DeSantis could beat JD Vance? What about Marco Rubio? Marco Rubio is a pretty stronghold in the Republican Party now. You think Marco Rubio? I don't know. With Trump being favorable to JD Vance and so critical of Ron DeSanctimonious, I don't know. But I do believe that Ron DeSantis is not done politically. He can no longer run for governor in Florida because they have a term limit or whatever. So, but I'm certain that Ron DeSantis is not done politically. So we'll see. In the comments, William Knight says, I heard that after House bill passes, there has to transpire a 7-day period of ripening before it sent to Senate. No, the Senate has already voted on it, William. The Senate has already voted. We have another week for Trump get Bondi to file investigations, but I think the Senate has already done it. So that's what I'm reading on News Nation right now. The Senate has already unanimously voted, so it's passed the Senate already. Poor people cheering for billionaires is like vegans eating meat. I don't understand it, Sassy. I do not understand it. I do understand it. But tap the screen, get us on up to Fitted Thou, FIDDY. Tap the screen, get the lights on up. This is a MAGA-friendly program. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone. We're here most weekdays if you enjoy this type of open dialogue from all sides of the aisle. If you're watching currently on Instagram or X, or currently watching on TikTok, feel free to give us a follow. And if you're watching on YouTube, sub to the program. By the way, smash that like button. The reason poor people defend wealthy people is because they dream of becoming one. So they don't want to do something that may harm themselves in the future, even though in reality, they're never going to get there. But that's likely why a lot of folks that are barely getting by are against putting financial limits and things like that on wealthy people. It's because they dream that one day they'll be that way. So, Mike, good evening. Welcome to the program. They started an investigation so that the files cannot be released. Why there isn't open? Yep, I think that's what's going on, Miss White. We'll find out shortly. Mike, do you think they're going to do that? Try to use that as an excuse?
Probably. I mean, you can't put anything past this administration. You know that, Tim. You can't put shit past these motherfuckers.
But how would even MAGA act at this point? I mean, you got almost a unanimous vote from the right to release this shit. So how would they all act? Because we know the only reason this investigation is happening is because Trump ordered it. So Trump can say, I'm giving you transparency on the files. However, due to an investigation, they don't have to show. When everybody knows he ordered the investigation. So everybody knows it's a shell game. So you think he would still do it?
Of course. And we did it the first time. That's how we ended up here the first time. He could have released the files. You remember, there was nothing to see. The files were on her desk, and the files weren't on her desk. And it was a Democratic hoax. He wasn't in the files. They sent FBI agents to scrub him from the files. They went down and talked to Giselle Maxwell and then moved her to Texas. Now she got a puppy and she got individually made meals and shit. Listen. Hey, I'm not making this shit up.
No. And I've actually made videos. I do not understand why MAGA has no complaints of why this woman got bumped to minimum security. I think MAGA reactions on here talking about you got to get moved for snitching or something crazy, but I don't understand why they're not why did this woman get minimum security? They didn't explain nothing.
Well, first of all, we know MAGA reacts and those like him are idiots, right? I mean, so you can't use idiot logic to try to be logical. I mean, you can't even apply that shit. By the way, he didn't accept my challenge when I went live the other night.
Oh, really?
He didn't show up.
Oh, no.
Just so you know.
He might have had to work. Maybe he was busy.
Yeah, whatever. Because in the comments, he was like, let's do it. Let's do it. And all that bullshit, he didn't show up. But anyway, back to your point. By the way, tap the screen, share the live. We only got 42,000. 42,000 is what you showing, Tim?
Yep. Get me up to 50. And if some of you guys are kind, help your boy out with the TikTok cap goal. I appreciate that. But yeah.
No, that 50 ain't gonna slide. We got to get to 60. We got to get to 60K before he lets me down. Now, some of your supporters will be getting carpal tunnel trying to get to 60.
Not if all of them do it a little bit, it'll get there pretty damn quick. But so in other words, we may not see these files after all.
Well, again, Tim, he could do it. And even if we do, they're going to be heavily redacted. They're going to try to take out all of the Republicans and leave Democrats. It's going to be a shit show. And then the crazy part about it, when that happens, that's going to open another investigation into fraud. I mean, they don't care though, Tim. We're not talking about, I told you a long fucking time ago, if you don't have integrity, morals, character, and ethics, none of this shit fucking matters. They don't care. They don't give a fuck, Tim. First of all.
Mike, let's be real. We're talking about children that may have been sexually violated. You telling me MAGA don't care about that?
I told you, I'll say it again. Do I need to turn my camera on so you can see my lips move? These motherfuckers don't care about children or women. I've been telling you that for months. When those floods happened in Texas, I told you that then. Tim. They took that money and they could have used it to save them children. They were so fucking depraved in this cult about Democrats, they used it for something else and they could have saved those kids. That's a fact. So I told you before, they don't care about women and children.
But you got, and by the way, M. Bagley, appreciate the claw, thank you. You gotta take in consideration though, Marjorie Taylor Greene though, she's MAGA. You think she care, right?
Self-preservation, sir. Now here's the thing, and by and large, because I don't think that 100% of MAGA doesn't care. I actually believe that's a subset of MAGA that does care. I'm gonna go back to my original analogy about MAGA, because I've always told you they're a cult. And the only way people come out of cult-like behavior is they have to be shocked that their beliefs have been shattered by the leader. And now it just depends on what that thing is that they lean on. A lot of people lean on racism, so they're not moving. Some of them lean on this topic, so they'll move. Just like some really like, they don't like the gay community. Period, full stop. And if Trump came out to be gay, they would be done with Trump.
So in other words, if it turned out that those clips that were, those emails that were suggesting that President Trump was sucking Bill Clinton's dick, you're telling me that would turn off MAGA?
It would turn off a subset of them 100%. Listen, Tim, a lot of these people aren't well. I said this last night on a live, and I'm serious. When I say cult, I've always meant it. I wasn't being hyperbolic when I said it. And think about Selena when she was unalived. Who was Selena, the singer? Who was she unalived by, Tim?
Was it a fan or something?
One of her biggest fans. Once they believe they've been betrayed by the person or the thing they poured so much into, they absolutely come unglued. Not all of them, but some of them. That's a fact. Tell me a cultist-like behavior that ended well. Tell me one cult that ended well, Tim. Motherfuckers don't just walk back into the office and go back to lunch after being in a cult. When did that happen?
Well, MAGA will tell you they're not in a cult. They would tell you.
I know they will. So were the people that went to Ghana with Jim Jones. None of them motherfuckers said they were in a cult. None of the people that followed David Koresh said they were in a cult, Tim. The Charles Manson, they never said they were in a cult. The ones that ended up surviving to tell their stories only told their stories because it reached a peak. It reached a
what about the notion that they just were simply tired of the Democrats and the liberals destroying the damn country? They didn't vote for Trump because they were in a cult. They voted for Trump because liberals were fucking the country up. How about that? Is it possible they voted for Trump because they just simply thought he had a better direction for this great nation as opposed to being in a cult?
Yes, some will say that too. Like I said, I'm not saying that they're a monolith either. What I'm saying is there's a majority of these people that aren't going to move, and there's some that are going to completely come unglued. That's why this app is so quiet the last few days. You can't find a lot of MAGA lives and people coming into liberal spaces over the last few days. Been quiet.
It's kind of a somber week.
It's been a somber week. How many have you had? How many have you had?
I'm dying. Listen, I'm open right now. If you're MAGA, state it in the comments. You'll be next. I'm dying to talk to MAGA. I want to hear MAGA's opinion on it.
Yeah, I know, MAGA. I don't want to talk to your ass. What are they going to say?
Well, they could say they could simply say, despite what's going on right now, I still trust Trump over any of you fucking liberals. They could say that. I want to hear that. I want to hear their opinion on it.
You're right. They can say that. Let me ask you this: have you talked to any MAGA that has given you a coherent reason why we're here with these Epstein files?
Well, I got one for you right now. This might be cryptic, but RW in the comments says, you can trash Santa all you want. Christmas is still coming.
What's that got to do with any fucking thing? And so was Thanksgiving. What the fuck does that mean? Listen. These people are actually, what you did is prove my point. You can trash Santa all you want. You still believe in Santa Claus. The actual day is going to be here. How you believe in it is different. Look, the Senate passed it. And by the way, I answered your question. When the Congress declared war on Japan, it was they only had one dissenting vote between the House and the Senate. One, just like today. Just one.
Wait, you said, say that again. When did they have only one dissenting vote?
It was only one dissenting vote when the U.S. declared
Pearl Harbor, at the Pearl Harbor.
Yep, Pearl Harbor, yep.
Okay. I would love to hear that guy. I would love to hear that guy's reason for not going to war with Japan after 2,000 some odd sailors were destroyed on that island. I'm about to look. That's a good history lesson. But okay, so one. So in other words, we've probably never had. Have we ever had a unanimous vote? What about after September 11th? We didn't declare war. So I'm trying to think what else has happened in history where you would have gotten a unanimous vote.
I don't know, but I'm gonna tell you this. We saw the fracture.
My caller may have a call. We'll give him a second.
Yeah, I saw the fractures in the MAGA movement. We've been talking about this for weeks now. This just not. None of it's sustainable, Tim. That's why they're moving so fast.
What the fuck? Wow. All right, that'll be a highlight reel. Thank you, so conservative. Wow. All right, that caught me off guard. Okay.
I'm sure it did. But listen.
Thank you.
The idea that this wasn't going to end well for most people. That's why they're doing what they're doing, Tim. They just listen. They picked. Let me pivot for a second. When he sat down with the Prince of Arabia today, right?
Okay.
And he
trashed that ABC reporter.
Well, not only did he trash her, but then he gets up there and completely disrespects how do you say his last name?
Who are you talking about?
Sure. The journalist that was unalived.
Khashoggi.
Basically saying he wasn't well liked.
I didn't hear it. I didn't hear it live, so I didn't hear it. That's terrible. They hacked that guy to pieces. Yeah,
he said he wasn't very well liked and things happened. Then he points to him and says, but he had nothing to do with it. He didn't know anything. I mean, listen, none of that surprises me. His supporters won't care because, it wasn't a white person, or they just don't care. Don't care.
I would throw a direct comparison to the late Charlie Kirk. I mean, no matter what you thought about Charlie Kirk, everybody agrees he didn't deserve to go. Well, not everybody, but most people agree he didn't deserve to go out like he did. No matter what you thought about Khashoggi, he didn't deserve to be quartered. I mean, he didn't deserve to be hacked to pieces. I mean, that's terrible. I didn't hear that part, but that's terrible. Yeah, but Trump just started talking about, well, they didn't like him. They cut the guy in pieces with a fucking saw.
Yeah. And, he was very, he wasn't very well. I mean, listen, Tim.
It's irrelevant. Huh? That's irrelevant that he wasn't liked. Just because he ain't liked don't mean you chop him to pieces.
I know, and this is the president of the United States.
Yeah,
this is
terrible.
Not a damn podcast. This is the president of the United States. And by the way, in motion, I know you call me, I know you think I'm paranoid, but the funny thing is, sir, or ma'am, whoever you are, just do a little reading. You'd be like, that paranoid motherfucker was right. That motherfucker really does his research. I'm not telling you anything that they haven't talked about or doing. The only thing I don't know is the end results of these e-files, because I don't trust that they're going to be released in a manner that you're going to be able to decipher clearly.
Yeah.
There was a reason why he sent all of those FBI agents to scrub those files, Tim. They didn't do that for nothing.
So do you likely agree then? Sound like you likely would agree with Mark Epstein, Epstein's brother, who's stating that he heard from a reliable source that the reason Trump is agreeing to release this stuff is they're scrubbing Republicans from the files. Sound like you kind of agree that there probably is some scrubbing taking place.
I do. I do. And let me tell you,
Appreciate
if they
that,
come
alter
out
ego.
and they're fully redacted to where you can't see any names and it's just Democrats, well, why would it be a Democratic hoax then? See, none of this shit makes sense. If you leave certain Democratic officials in there, which I don't give a fuck if they were in there, but if that was the case, why would it? So when they come out now, are those the right files based on Trump's logic? If it's a Democratic hoax, are the files bullshit regardless, no matter who's in them?
My guess is by the time all is said and done and the next administration comes up, and appreciate that, M. Bagley, by the next time the next administration comes up, some of that stuff is going to be permanently deleted and gone. They're going to permanently get rid of some of that stuff. I don't think the next president is going to be able to uncover it. Now, my guess is they're going to, whatever you got to do to delete, throw out, burn whatever you got on paper, delete whatever you got in the computers. Some of that stuff's going to be permanently gone. But you make a good point. If it's a Democrat hoax, then why the hell are you blaming J.P. Morgan and Mark Summers and Bill Clinton? It's either a hoax or it's not. It can't be both. I mean, it's a hoax, but you got legitimate Democrats that are guilty. Then it's not a hoax.
Then it's not. That's what I'm saying. It's just stupid. In motion and Gen X. So let me be clear. In motion, I understand. See, these are the investigations I used to do when I was in IT for all those years, Tim. I did this shit extensively. About email investigation, data investigations, infrastructure security. I did that shit for a couple of decades. So I understand how it works. And that's why I'm trying to. They can protect the victims by just naming them victim 1, victim 2, etc., and redacting their names. But every other name in there, unless there's an open investigation somewhere, but to release the files, the only open investigation is the one that Donald Trump declared today. So everybody has to understand, if they're heavily redacted, all of the redactions can't be victims if you see no names but Democrats, right? Yeah. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. But now, Gen X, you can say whatever you want. See, all your beliefs and all the shit you guys believe in is crumbling in front of you. And now you guys want to say, I can get more information out of
I don't think, I disagree with you, Mike. I don't think it's crumbling. I think MAGA is still on board with Trump. Like I said, it's I consider it a 90-10 thing where, look, 10% of things Trump has done I don't like what he's done with the Epstein files, but 90% of the guy has been good for America. That's how I think MAGA stands on this. And I'm definitely not going to throw Trump under the bus for Epstein and fuck with you Democrats. That's the way I see it. I don't think that they're going to, it'll fracture MAGA for a moment. But I think that Trump, being the negotiator he is and the powerhouse he is, will reassemble that party back. I wouldn't write him off.
I don't believe. Here's the thing. They're never going to vote for a Democrat. I'm not suggesting that at all. But I am suggesting that they'll move away from him and just sit their ass at home. That's all. I do believe that they'll go. Because listen, Tim, some of them are homophobic. Some of them are very homophobic, and I believe a lot. Some of them is projection because they're in the closet. Don't get me wrong. I believe that shit. I 100% believe that. But
that's the whole grinder.
Yes. I do believe that. I also believe that there are some people that see this particular thing. They started questioning themselves months ago when this first came out, and every time emails are released, it's just making them question more and more. And now the ones that are saying they need a smoking pew-pew, to point, they're going to need video, some of these people, to say he did it. But there's a subset of people that aren't going to need that. It's already happening. Is it
enough of them, though, Mike? That's the problem. And I see the comments. Kate Point Blank said, I'm thinking this way because I'm MAGA, too. You know how many viewers I get to suggest that I'm MAGA? It's amazing how many people think I'm...
But I'm gonna say you this, Tim. I think it's enough. I think I already told you. The whole redistricting thing being put on hold, right? With the federal judge. That's big. Yeah, well, they might win the appeal.
Handsome conservative. Right? Thank you. Shit. Go ahead.
They may try to appeal it. I mean, as a matter of fact, they're going to try to appeal it, right? And that's cool too, because at the end of the day, if they win, we're right back to where we were after the vote here in California, right? If they lose,
then you're ahead of the game.
They're ahead of the game. But at the end of the day, Tim, all of this stuff is just, none of us can, nobody can, no matter what side of the aisle you're on, you can't say you've ever experienced anything like this in your lifetime.
It's unprecedented. But by the way, keep in mind that the Trump administration is suing California to reverse their gerrymandering as well. I'll give you the last one. I do got to move it on, but they're suing them. So it's a possibility that California could have theirs undone as well. But because it was up for a vote, I think California has a better chance of keeping theirs. Last word on you.
Yeah, because they use the democratic process for it. Yeah. They used the process for it, and the voters turned out and they voted. Had Texas done that, and did it that way, it is what it is. But listen, they're cheaters by nature. They're unethical people by nature.
That's what they say about the Democrats, Mike. They say the Democrats are the ones that steal elections.
I know that's what they say, but they have no proof of shit. But we do. Number one. Number two, they're not redeemable. I've told you that before. I'm going to stand on that. And every week, they continue to give me more support that I think handsome conservative.
Don't say shit about handsome conservative. Don't say shit about handsome conservative. God damn it! Thank you.
You better not say nothing about Harpo. You better not say he keeps sending you all these damn gifts.
Look, listen. I don't get a lot of supporters, so God damn it, I'm gonna celebrate those who support the program. Handsome conservative. Thank you. Get off my boy. Finish your topic. I gotta move it on.
I'm gonna finish my topic. I want to check your DMs. I need to check your email. The shit he's sending you. But anyway, listen, my last words.
There we go. Itchy. Thank you. Mike, you've been a good luck charm. Go ahead and finish your point.
I'm trying to, and we're over 60K. And we're over 60K.
All right.
Look at that. So I'm gonna land my plane here, and I'm gonna leave it with this, Tim. At the end of the day, what I believe will happen, what I believe that Trump is giving the Senate and Congress a window to step back.
Fuck.
I need to check your email right now.
Fuck.
I need to check your email.
This is man. Didn't even have to use the AK. Today was a good day. All right.
Let me finish this. I really believe Trump is giving those supporters in the House and Senate an opportunity and a window to silently have an out. He's giving them an exit ramp with all of this bullshit, right? Yeah. I do. No, MAGA, I don't like y'all. I don't like y'all because you guys just are not trustworthy. But I believe some of them are looking for an off ramp like Marjorie Greene Taylor because they know that midterms, unless they cheat,
I gotta disagree with you. I'll state it on the other side. I do gotta move it on, but I disagree with you on Marjorie Taylor Greene, and I'll say why momentarily. Mike,
I need to check your emails. I'm checking your goddamn emails.
All right, Mike. Always a pleasure. Thank you. Moving on with the program real quick before I go into Marjorie Taylor Greene, why I don't think that she is doing what my last caller said. Ed G says, by that logic, you can say the Democrats only agreed to it because high-level Democrats were redacted too. Apply your logic to your side and see how dumb it sounds. Now, I think the Democrats want Trump out of the way so bad they don't give a fuck what Democrat has to be sacrificed. I'm just going to simply say, because the Democrats that may be on the Epstein files are not relevant to any future going success of the Democrat Party, Ed G. So I disagree with you there. I think the Democrats are okay with releasing the Epstein files because it's not going to harm any Democrat that is of any value. I mean, if it takes out Bill Clinton, so what? He's not going to run for president again. He's not on the list to do anything beneficial to the Democratic Party. His time is up. Same thing would, even if Obama was on it, I don't think it would matter. Mike, thank you for the showers. I appreciate that. Good conversation as always. So what I want to say in regards to Marjorie Taylor Greene, and I never thought I would say anything positive about Marjorie Taylor Greene because I don't like the deliberate division and infighting, but she also apologized for that the other day on CNN. She said she's been a part of it. and it's not been good for America. So she didn't downplay it or anything. She apologized and took credit for the damage she believes she's done. I don't believe that Marjorie Taylor Greene is doing it because of the writing on the wall. I believe Marjorie Taylor Greene is actually listening to her constituents. Her constituents told her that during the shutdown, shit was not good for them. And she listened. I actually believe that what Marjorie Taylor Greene is doing is somewhat what a representative should actually do. Is the people talk to her and she actually listened to them. She didn't necessarily ignore her constituents on behalf of Trump. That's what I believe based on what I'm hearing. Now, did she see the writing on the wall? I don't know if the writings on the wall is officially there yet. Some folks are saying that some Republicans are abandoning ship because they see you don't want to go down with Trump. I'm not for certain Trump is going down yet to make that statement. Now, I'm not going to say it can't happen. It absolutely could happen. Trump pisses off a lot of people and makes a lot of enemies. So anything is possible. You can only make so many damn enemies before somebody gets you. I think making an enemy out of Marjorie Taylor Greene, for instance, was not good for Trump whatsoever. Because there's going to be a significant amount of MAGA that does not view what he's doing to somebody that has supported the movement so loyally. So, but you can only make so many enemies, and this guy makes enemies for breakfast. Eventually, you're going to make the wrong enemy. And, you know, somebody like Marjorie Taylor Greene may actually be that person. I mean, remember, she does what you do, just at a lower level. She knows how to troll. She knows how to speak. She knows how to energize, too. She does what you do, just at a lower level. To the same people. Looking in the comments, shush. Okay, I like the name. Shush. Since Trump said to vote yes because he thought they said release the files. And Shush spelled the files Philes. So release the pedals. Release the files. Phil. I like it. A play on words. Let me go back to the box. Marjorie Taylor Greene is not loyal. You guys are killing it. I didn't know TikTok was capable of this. Wow. You guys are making my phone, particularly you, handsome conservative, making my phone feel like it went from an Atari to a PlayStation 5. I did not know the graphics were that good. Thank you so much. We need to win. The Democrats need to lose their unpatriotic stronghold on votes. Rudy, you'd have to explain, elaborate. What do you mean by an unpatriotic stronghold on a vote? I don't quite get what that is. You'd have to explain that. Marjorie Taylor Greene sounds like she is a drama queen. She's been around for a few years now, Dan. You just coming to that conclusion that she's a drama queen because she's kind of on the wrong side of Trump? I mean, she literally showed a picture of Hunter Biden's dick on the Capitol floor. I mean, like, that's been a few years ago. You coming up now and say she's a, come on now. She's Marjorie Taylor Greene has been Marjorie Taylor Greene, and I agree with you, Mike, in the comments. Going back to the box, Spark Chaser. Good evening. Welcome to the program. Miss Mobetta, what did I hit? Don't know what I hit, but we'll try it again. Miss Mobetta. Trump gleaned through the files in July for his own name. Do y'all actually believe he has any credibility? He already signed an executive order for the files to be released. Remember the fake binders. Yeah, the fake binders was embarrassing. Miss Mobetta, good evening.
I'm going to be nice to him. I ain't going to cut you out because I was going to tell your ass off, but I'm going to be nice.
I mean, I don't mind getting occasionally broken off, but getting torn off sound different.
Listen, that's for another show.
All right. We'll have to do that. Okay. All right. Fair enough.
That's for another show.
Yes, ma'am.
I see a lot of grifting just happening with Marjorie Taylor Greene. Like, listen,
really?
I know a wise man will change, but a fool will never change. So, I mean, I'm willing to give her the benefit of the doubt. However, when you're up for election, a drowning man will reach for a straw.
Damn.
You understand what I'm saying? And that's number one. Number two, she might have realized that when it comes down to it, Trump would throw his mama under the bus if he had to.
After seeing what happened to the likes of Liz Cheney, and I mean, like, how many Republicans have Trump? I mean, look, you just now in 2025 realizing that a really good friend of Trump can get thrown under the bus. I mean, we seen what happened to Mike Pence. We seen what happened to General Milley, Mad Dog Mattis. Like, did it really take for Marjorie Taylor Greene to get on the wrong side of Trump for folks to realize that all it takes is one event and Trump won't like you? January,
One instance.
yeah, January 5th, the day before January 6th, there was no issue from MAGA in regards to either Liz Cheney or who else did he have issues with? Mike Pence. They didn't have any problem with them
listen,
people.
he throws everybody under the bus, and I guess they're the fools. He's not. They're the ones who sign up for this shit.
So he's a
You
genius
understand
then.
what he just know how to get around that shit. You know why? Because he's been doing it all his life. He had a hard life at home when he was younger. They picked on him. He was that kid. He was the kid that got picked on. His own mother talked shit about him.
You talking about Trump?
Nobody else to do. Indeed. So when he started growing up, he started becoming a bully. And then once he inherited that money from his father, money doesn't change people, it enhances who they are. So that's why we are where we are today.
So you're suggesting that Trump, as a young lad, was being bullied, and that's what he has become out of resentment for that.
Yep, being bullied by his own family. His own family was tearing his ass up. And this is alleged TikTok before y'all start blocking and sending shit.
What are you indicating that TikTok? What are you indicating that TikTok is on the side of Trump?
No, they just look for anything to send a flag. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get you shadow banned. Well, I think they are shadow banned because they used to tell me when you was live.
Handsome.
When you would.
Go ahead.
Not telling.
Well, I do think there's some shadow banning going on because my YouTube and my other platforms do all right. For some reason, TikTok really went down. I don't know. When I post videos on YouTube, they continue to climb up. For some reason, I can do a 3-hour live on TikTok and get like 3 or 4 followers and get 300 on YouTube. So something is wrong with TikTok. I don't get it. I mean, I've been on TikTok by far longer than I've been live on YouTube by a few years.
Right.
So there is something going on.
Yeah, of course it is. You have a lot of entities when it comes to stuff like this. You know what I mean? A lot of outside influences. You got people dry snitching and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
it's But yeah, back to my point. Yeah. Trump, he wasn't the favorite at home. You know what I'm saying? So the mother appears that she was running shit. You know what I'm saying? So the father's like, all right, he's old enough now. I'll give you a couple of dollars. You make it do what it do.
Yeah, see in the comments, Birdman, no shout out to the Hot Boys, but Birdman says, she's right. I heard his father was real bad towards him, always putting him down. He's a guy gave him $1 million loan, was he not? $1 million loan for my dad.
See, Tim, this is what you have to learn to read people. It's not what people say, it's what people do. It's the behavior, it's the patterns. His pattern shows I was bullied. So when I get to a position of power, I'm gonna go full force with it. And that's exactly how he's maneuvering now. He's blowing up boats where he don't even know who the fuck is on them.
Well, he claims they're trying to bring dangerous drugs.
And they ain't come up with not nasty drug yet, or anybody to say that they were bringing drugs here. Okay, name one.
Well, Mr. Mobetta, one of the vehicles they blew up was a submersible. I mean, who else on the high seas is in a submarine? I mean, that would have to be something.
Who the fuck knows? How would you know, Tim? If there was any evidence he blew it up. You can't prove shit that he say he was doing, which he never does, because nobody ever calls him out on his bullshit. Now he's talking about going to Mexico and shit, talking about he wouldn't mind doing that. Like, listen, you going around here fucking with people gonna get tired of your shit, they gonna band together and they gonna make an example out of his ass.
Yeah, I gotta admit, I don't like taking on so many enemies at once, and that does seem to be what President Trump is good at, I guess. It's just saying fuck everybody. I mean, like, you can't make. I mean, you're making enemies out of Canada. Now you're talking about going into Mexico. So now both borders, we got people that don't necessarily like us. I mean, and now you're obviously at odds with Venezuela. I think Colombia is now starting to speak up because I believe we killed a couple. Some of them boats were they people. So, I mean, you're really going to make enemies with all of South America? I mean, it's just, you're taking on too many enemies at once.
Yeah, and usually that's what a Republican does. You can go back and check the history. That's the same thing Bush was doing. That's the same. You see, they was throwing slippers at his ass when he was over in the country. They was throwing, which in their country, that was one of the highest form of disrespect.
Yeah.
Is throwing slippers at people. They was throwing, and then once Obama took, he had to go around apologizing.
Yep.
We got to set this shit right because we can't independently stand on our own, regardless of our military strength. We still need outside sources for certain things.
What ends up happening too is it opens us up for terrorist attacks. I mean, because you got so many people hating you, you don't know who in the country may have lost somebody or may sympathize with people that were like the boats that are being blown up. I mean, them people got family members. The same thing supporting Netanyahu. Them people got family members. I mean, you can't just be. We've blown up things in Iran now under Trump. I mean, this was the guy who boasted that under him no new wars were started. You making a lot of enemies for a guy that don't have no wars under his belt. So,
well, see, the thing is, he can't think that he is so big that we can't be touched. What he's doing is making our soldiers and people that are actively in the military vulnerable. Don't listen. I've seen people in the grave that own all kinds of firearms, had all kind of bank accounts. So you don't think that you're so big that you can't be touched. They thought the same shit when 9/11 happened also.
Yeah.
They thought that.
Yeah. And I mean, we are a melting pot, so there are people representing every nation that we're making enemies of in this country. I mean, with these,
he's letting out our alleged prior enemies in. You know what you know how a lot of the these essayers get little children, they give them candy. Here, little kid, would you like some candy? And that's just what they did with that goddamn plane. Here, little trick. You want this plane?
So we got three more years of Trump. What type of America are you expecting?
A chaotic one, an expensive one. An expensive one. That's what's gonna happen. He already got us divided. He's divided more people in this country than a little bit. And I don't want to hear shit about prove me wrong.
But when you say an expensive one, Trump has stated that his tariffs are going to bring a ton of money to this great nation. They're going to bring jobs back.
Well, he's talking about lowering the tariffs too. He's doing that shit that he do, flip flop, right?
Yeah.
Because he know it's not good it's not good. Listen, there's always been tariffs. Let's not get that twisted. Every president has had tariffs. We need some kind of income because we don't sell enough product. We ain't nobody buying a lot of shit from us. Not like that. Not like we're purchasing from other places.
How about this? You always get torn up in the comments, and I see JJ.
I know.
JJ McGuire says this woman is crazy. Somebody else said one of the things that Trump will do is present a RW says in America with no fat people on Snap, and John Tiano says this woman is whack. So they're not. My YouTube audience they have an interesting affection for you, apparently.
Oh my God! And they probably got fat, bald mouth wives. They want to be. They want to be that Bubba that Trump that sucked his dick. They want to do that. They admire shit like that. Those are the P3DOs right there. Ooh. That support pedophilia and shit. Shut the fuck up. Matter of fact. Show your EBT card, because I know you got one. You got that SNAP benefit. Shut the fuck up.
I always gotta give you your just due, because you get attacked more than many. I'm gonna say it like this, and people can take it any way they want, but there is something about an African American woman that invites attacks. Takesha gets them too. When I get African American females, they get attacked more than anybody else on the platform. It's
because you know why? Because usually when we speak, we prove them wrong. They want us to be welfare queens because that's the shit that they push. But we're not. We're those educated people that are probably your worst nightmare because you can't pee in our ear and tell us it's fucking raining, and we look good doing it.
Well,
got your bitches out there buying ass. Shut the fuck up.
All right. So, oh my God. So are we going to see these files or what? I mean, do you think that like what Mike was saying, and I think Dencal even to a lesser degree was suggesting that he may, by way of Pam Bondi, use this investigation that they've started as a reason to temporarily suspend releasing the files, which could easily last for the rest of his term. Do you see any likelihood of that happening?
Oh well, they're gonna pivot. They're gonna pivot more than James Worthy. They're gonna pivot their ass off to try. See, they have up to 30 days to release them. Now that the Senate has passed it or whatever, they have up to 30 days to release it. But in them 30 days, you're gonna see more Sharpies on them fucking pictures, on them pages than anything. So the thing is, I don't understand how they don't see what Trump is doing. First, Trump said it was a hoax. Then he said we got 50,000 pages. So which is it? It can't be both.
Let me ask you this way. And let's say, for instance, what you're suggesting does happen, and I do believe there is certainly a possibility of a lot of James Worthy pivoting. Somebody pointed out.
Excuse me, Kareem.
Yeah, somebody. I seen that.
Okay,
I seen that. But
somebody in the NBA, they all pivot.
A few Lakers fans there. But in regards to pivoting, I do believe there is a possibility. I won't discount that Trump may try to do that. But what about you think MAGA now? Because MAGA is invested in getting to the bottom of the investigation. Would they ignore Trump if he just redacted everything and did not, and he was not transparent? Would MAGA allow that at this point?
Oh yeah, they're in too deep. They're in too deep because they refuse to accept where they're wrong. Listen, they keep saying, "Oh, it's Democrats." Listen, we want them nasty fuckers too. If they're in there, arrest anybody that's in that bitch. This is not about a party. This is about a nasty party that was happening with little children. It's disgusting. I don't give a fuck who was in there.
Let me give you. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I want to give you this is a very interesting opinion from one of my viewers that I'm thinking there may be some folks that feel the same way. It's a strong opinion, even though we're talking about Epstein and, the potential of minors being violated. But Alex in the comments says, fuck the Epstein files. Says, I'm working my ass off and barely able to support my family. Y'all must be doing good to only give a fuck about Epstein. So how about that? In other words, focus on the economy as opposed to all this bullshit that happened years ago. And handsome conservative. Thank you.
Listen, if he doesn't have the capacity to do both, that's shame on him. Because we all talk about that too, about prices of shit. We talk about the cost of health insurance. People that are losing their SNAP, even though most of us don't get them. But it's still about people. You know what I'm saying? We still have some sort of humility. And yes, we talk about the Epstein files too. But again, if you don't have the capacity to talk about both, that's not on the internet. That's on you, bro.
Walking and chewing bubble gum at the same time. I see you there, Leo's Places, SNAP benefit. Yeah, I mean, I do agree. You got to be able to talk about more than one topic. The economy is important, but Trump is on the cusp of starting wars with other nations. You can't just focus only on the economy when other things are orbiting around this nation. So I do tend to agree.
Exactly, and and the crazy thing, you have to listen to both sides to see where people stand. You know what I'm saying? It's not just listening to the Democrat or listening to just Republicans. You got to listen to both sides. I'll watch Fox News in a minute to see what they lying about. You understand what I'm saying? Because what am I going to compare my notes to?
To see what they lying about.
I'm solid on my opinions and the stuff that I research. I'm solid on my shit, but I still listen. Because that just gives me good content. And it's funny as fuck too. Because they be lying their ass off.
And you always come on to hype up my audience. Miss Mobetta, I gotta move it on.
That's why I'm here, Tim. Listen, I waited on your live almost 3 hours the other night. You still didn't call me up. I said I was gonna go against the grandma on your ass today, but I didn't.
Please don't do that. I can only handle that.
No, I'm not. I ain't gonna do it. I tell you, my mouth is terrible, Tim. But it's good too. My mouth is good too at the same time. But
all right.
I must spare you today.
All
I'm gonna
right.
spare you. But as far as Marjorie Taylor Greene, and then I'm gonna let you go. She wants her seat. She does not want to give up her seat. She found a way to try to get through get through the cracks. She's trying to, because she's going on The View, which they talk against The View. She's going into all their enemies. She's walking in the enemy territory.
So it's all about self-preservation, in your opinion.
Yeah, well, listen, I get it. I get that part. I don't know if I could still trust her, but I get it.
All right, Miss Mobetta, always a pleasure. Thank you for not going off on me. Thank you for sparing me.
You're lucky. Yeah. Stop fluffing too, God damn it.
God. I got to go. Tap the screen, folks. Get the likes on up to 80,000, if you will. Handsome conservative. Thank you very much. I wanted to tell you earlier, appreciate all the support. Absolutely helps out the program. Thank you very much to the handsome conservative indeed. Moving on with the program. Democrats will do everything to destroy the economy. Just because Trump is president, they don't care how many people they hurt. Well, I guess I'd be curious to ask Slick, I think is his name, Slick or Slick, probably Slick. The spelling is with a Y. I guess the question I would ask is, how can the Democrats destroy the economy in their current powerless state? I mean, Trump has all of the power right now. So let me know how the Democrats could currently destroy the economy when the Republicans are in control of the House, Senate, executive branch, and even the Supreme Court. So let me know. It also, has everyone forgot a couple of months ago, or came out that the FBI went through the Epstein files and redacted Trump's name? Yeah, I don't listen until it's one of those things. You've heard people say, "I won't believe it until I see it." I'm kind of that way on the Epstein files. I believe that something will be released, but we've seen, Pam Bondi state that the files were on her desk and they were going to get them. And then you've seen folks walking out with binders sent it through the Epstein files and there was nothing in them. There's been so many nothing burgers that I'm just going to simply say, I will believe it when I see it. And there is no one that can deny, even my beloved MAGA, there is no one that can deny that President Trump has been anything other than forthcoming on the Epstein files. I mean, he literally started out his presidency by saying, stop talking about Epstein. He has been 100% against releasing this stuff from the moment he took control of the Oval Office as the 47th president. He's been against it the whole time. Even Marjorie Taylor Greene recently stated, I don't know why he is so gung-ho against releasing these files. So he made an about face, we know now, but there's a reason why he didn't want to release the files for the first 10 months of his presidency. We won't know that until we see what comes out. But I will believe that everything is released when I see it. My guess is there's going to be redactions, names missing. People are going to tell you this ain't every damn thing because I know other people. It's probably not going to be released in its full nature. I don't believe it will be. And of course, the argument could be made it didn't get released because we're trying to protect innocent people or something like that. That's what they've been saying from the moment the resistance took place. Is Trump was protecting innocent people from being harmed. The hell with the actual women. We're protecting innocent men or somebody else in the files from being harmed. Anyway, the Dems had these files, but failed to release them before Trump was president. Why, says Christopher Blanchard? Well, the reason that they're saying is because there was an investigation during the Democrat presidency, during Biden's presidency. The investigation by Merrick Garland meant the files were sealed and Biden could not release them. However, regardless of what reason the Democrats had for not releasing the files, fact is the Republican Party, by way of Dan Bongino and Kash Patel, probably Candace Owens and some of the other ones, were very hard on the Democrat Party for not releasing the Epstein files. All of a sudden, Trump gets in office, and they're like, well, let's talk about the Democrats not releasing it. We're not going to be hard on the next president, which is Trump. literally doing the same thing we're bitching about the Democrats are doing. Let's just keep talking about the Democrats. That doesn't make a lot of sense. If you are mad that the Democrats did not release the files, and now the Democrats are gone and you got another guy that's doing the same thing, you'd be mad at him if the files were something you actually cared about. So it's been politicized since day one. Give the people what they want, says King. Real quick in the comments, they're lucky they're allowed to vote, for fuck's sake. What do you mean by that? Lucky they're allowed. Why are you lucky you're allowed to vote? 5 administrations since Bill Clinton and the government used Epstein. Since I don't know, is that Trump's fault? Trippy, interesting name, by the way. Let me just say this. Trump is president right now. He has the ability to release the files. Let's suggest that every president, as you say, since Bill Clinton fucked up, utilized Epstein, got involved in things that were wrong. They had the ability to release the files and they didn't. Let's say every administration since Bill Clinton fucked up on Epstein. None of that excuse. Bringing up that my predecessor did a bad job or fucked up on something does not excuse you from fucking up in the current. It's just to me, that's just a deflection. Those guys are gone. Okay, maybe they did do something wrong. We can talk about that. But that doesn't excuse Trump from doing something wrong as well. That's not an excuse for him. And that's what people are constantly bringing up. Well, why didn't Biden release it? Okay, we can talk about Biden, but that doesn't excuse President Trump. Gangsta grandma.
You can stay fluffing.
There's no fluffing today.
Yes, you was. You always be fluffing. You really do make me sick by fluffing, no. But hey, you like to be on your knees for the white man.
Nobody's on their, right? No one is on their knees for the white man.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And I hope that the files do come out, but we all know what they're going to do. They're going to pull all the Democrats in and not the Republicans. That's easy to say.
So you believe that the information is not going to be released in its entirety?
No. Why would you think he did it at 180? Why do you think he did that all of a sudden?
Maybe to get ahead of it or something? See in the comments, Draco said, I brought you on it. One of my viewers, Draco, says, goodbye, this demon is a waste of time. So you got to
tell him to shut the fuck up. It could be on the knees for the white man. How about that?
That is a white man. That is a white man.
Yeah, and he's on his knees for Donald Trump, and what?
Oh. I don't know. You gotta
white man. You got me fucked up.
You got a loud background, gangster.
I know. Hold on. Hold on. Thank you. I had to go get me a Coke, and so I'm gonna go put some city stuff in it. I'm drinking tonight. I'm being fucked up.
Okay. So right now you're sober.
I am sipping. No, not sipping yet. I'm sipping in a minute. I don't drive drinking, but I will be though.
Okay.
I'll be in my car right now. Now it's gonna be quiet. So, anyways, yes, I'm done. Wait, you just wait till the fucking files come out. Wait till the files come the fuck out. But I have like a bad fucking feeling that he's gonna do some fuck shit because all of a sudden, it's anonymous. Everyone's gonna vote for it. I mean, give me a break. And you know what's so fucked up is that the women is not gonna get the justice because of this shit. And that's the shittiest part about the whole shit is that the white man and all the billionaires gonna walk on this shit because they got money.
But
that's the truth.
Let me ask it to you this way. Okay, because obviously women were abused. Why are there not more MAGA women speaking out? I mean, Marjorie Taylor Greene is doing it.
The man's asses, okay? Because they believe the orange Jesus. You know what I mean? God fucking forbid. And some of the damn women voted for his stupid ass.
I mean, there's a lot of women. More women voted for Trump than they did for Kamala Harris.
White women. Not us black women, not us Hispanic women, white women. Because they have to bow down to their master. That's what it is.
What do you mean by bow down to their master?
They do. Donald Trump. Like, Elmer Fudd, like all that bullshit, yeah. Bow down. That's what they do. They swear to God that, he's the best thing. Like burnt mayonnaise.
Well, the thing, The thing about it is they believe the liberals are trying to destroy the damn country, gangster grandma.
Let me tell you something about us destroying the country. Every time there's a Democratic president, our economy is fucking good as shit. Every time there's a Republican fucking president, we're a shithole. We go into a recession and every fucking damn thing else. So what the fuck do they want?
Wait a minute.
You know what I mean?
How are you going to say that every time there's a Democrat president, the economy is doing good? You think you think the economy? Wait. This time last year, when Biden was still in control, you think the economy was doing good?
Yep. I'd rather have Biden's economy than this fucking shitty ass economy. Well, our dollar is 11% less than it was under Biden. Okay, our food prices were less under Biden. Okay, our what is it called? The inflation was less under Biden at this time. Okay, so shut the fuck me with, Sleepy Joe, his economy was so bad. Fuck me with that bullshit.
Okay, well,
because now sorry. Guess what? Biden had more jobs than anything. Okay, we're losing jobs. Biden was gaining jobs, and what? What you gonna do, Fluffer?
I think
that might. Gonna try to push back, Fluffer?
Yes, I'm going to push back. I think
yes, you will, because you're on your knees for the white man. Get that cock out your mouth. You don't look cute with it.
This is about the economy, gangster. Nothing about the white man.
The economy was doing well. I'd rather have Biden's economy than yo, little orange Jesus, the one that like to suck dick by. You know, I'd rather have that economy.
Well, that's a different point. James Harper in the comments makes a good point. He says that he believes the economy under Biden compared to Trump's economy was better, but that don't mean Biden's economy was good either. It could be a choice.
It was. What the fuck, man? That's why he said he likes the fucking uneducated. He was bringing in jobs. He did more for the people than Trump. Name me one policy Trump has done. You guys can't. All you gotta do is a big, beautiful fucking bill where it fucks us in the ass and gets some damn billionaires. What did Biden do? The PACT Act. What did Biden do? The Infrastructure Act. What did Biden do? He did more. So shut me up with that bullshit.
I'm going to say what I was just saying. The economy under Biden was not good. It may have been better in some.
It was. Yes, it was. He was not losing jobs. He was bringing jobs in, you dumb fuck. That's why he likes the uneducated. Even you're so goddamn uneducated. You're on your knees for the fucking white man. Get off your fucking knees, man. Get on your knees for a black woman at least.
Okay.
And stop putting my black women down. I shit you not. Oh, she wasn't a good candidate. Well, you're on Jesus the bitch. How about that?
Well, me telling you that Kamala Harris was not a good candidate is putting black women down?
Yes, because you do not like, okay, you don't like educated black women. You rather
what the hell?
Just fuck the whole goddamn system to hell and fucking back. What the fuck?
What are you talking about? I just, listen, I don't think.
What are you talking about? Oh, she's not a good candidate. Oh, gangster girls will get on to you. Yes, I'm going to get on to you. I can't stand black men like you. The constantly put fucking black women down. But yet, you're a kiss of a white ass of a fucking white woman. Get the fuck out of here.
You're too passionate because Dora Jim Bennett said.
I'm not too passionate.
Dora Jim Bennett says you amount to racist, drunk trash.
Yeah, I'm not even drunk yet, bitch. But if I got it, don't trust believe. You think I'm bad now? My mouth is wide the fuck open. And I'll put the white people down so bad, I'll make them fucking go commit suicide. Don't give me shit.
Okay, wait, no talk.
Because I'm driving.
Okay, well, try to avoid talking about stuff like that. But I'm just going to simply say what I always.
I'm so sick of black men like you. Always constantly putting, oh, she wasn't a good candidate. What, snow goddamn bunny? You're even trying to put down that fucking snow bunny. The bitches don't even look like snow bunny. They look like fucking melted ass. Fucking mayonnaise. I'm going to do what I. Every time we had this conversation, I'm going to do what I always do. I'm going to hold this up and tell you this woman was a bad candidate. This woman was a bad candidate. Because I'm not like you. That's probably why your wife fucking left you. You fucking made a damn snow bunny, and the fucking bitch left your ass. If just this, I give her a fucking prop. Saying that this, who the fuck wants a black man like you? Saying that this woman was a bad candidate. You fucking white. You're fucking pro-white. That's what the fuck you your ass is pro-fucking-white. You ain't pro-black. I'll be damned. I wish a black man would come to me and put a fucking sister down and they up a bread. Fucking white woman. I wish a bitch would.
So
I wish a bitch would. God, slap his ass.
So what are you saying? It's impossible to criticize Kamala Harris without being putting down a black woman?
She's doing good. Okay, you know what? Let me tell you something. She's done more for being a vice president. Get that fucking ugly ass smoke out your fat ass face. Oh God, you honestly make me fucking sick.
I don't want
a black man. Go drink some bleach.
I don't. Oh my God.
But let me tell you something. Okay? She did more as for a vice president than any other fucking vice president did. Any more. So what the fuck are you talking about, Willard?
She was a bad candidate, though, gangster.
She's done more. She was a good candidate. You know why she wasn't? She didn't win because she was a black fucking educated woman. And half the motherfucking black men, the 20%, didn't like that. You know why they didn't like that? Because they have to listen to a black woman. And they didn't like that at all.
Jason.
And then, oh my God, it's a power trip. You fucking half these motherfucking black men are stupid fucks anyways.
Gangster grandma, we've had a black president. We've had a black president. We've had a black president.
No, actually, that's a second black president. But yeah, and they dogged his ass out too. So what the fuck is wrong with you, dumbass?
I'm saying that you can be a good candidate as a black person.
What are you talking about, Willis? That's not a black woman. We could have had a black woman, and we would have been in this fucking situation. But no. Some of the black men, I didn't like her because she's not black enough. Oh no, she's stupid, just like you said. Oh, she's not a good fucking. She wasn't gonna be a good president. She's being better than fucking Donald Trump, though.
I don't know.
And she's not a rapist. She's a cop. And she wouldn't have tolerated this bullshit. Well, no, you fucking white, you fucking so-called fucking damn rowdy raccoons. Oh, you guys wanted him. Now, because you wanted, what, $2,000?
I'm just going to...
You sold this all out for $2,000?
Let me just say it like this. While you're talking about chastising a black woman, Kamala Harris didn't even win the women's vote. What the hell does that say?
She won the black women's vote. What the fuck are you talking about?
Gangsta,
she won the black women's vote.
There are more...
Shut the fuck up about what the fuck. She wasn't going to win the white man woman's vote, no. Because they didn't want a black fucking president. They didn't want a black woman. Oh, God fucking forbid that, right?
There are
Get
more...
the fuck out of here.
There are more people...
They won our vote.
There are more women in this country than just black women. Gangster.
You know what? But she did win. Let me tell you something else, you stupid fuck. And yeah, I did call you stupid fuck. Let me tell you this. She won the Mexican vote. 62% of them. She won that. The Mexican, not the Latinos, not the Cubans, not the Venezuelans.
What about those people? What about the Cubans, the Venezuelans, and all the people you're taking out of the equation?
White fucking fucks. They think, honestly, they're going to be at the white man's fucking table, and they sellouts too.
And I see in the comments.
She won the Mexican vote. Yes, she did.
No. Midnight Squirrel says she cooked you, bro. Midnight, no. Midnight, thank you for your support, but no, she didn't cook me. We're still talking, and she's wrong.
I am cooking your fucking fat fucking ass. You should go get you something to lose some of that weight. Maybe if you lost some of your weight, maybe you'll come back to fucking reality. Because black women is your backbone. And if you ever fucking thought about that, you motherfuckers are sellouts. You guys, the ones that voted for him, you ain't a sellout. You guys forget where the fuck you motherfuckers came from. That's what the fuck you motherfuckers forgot. I swear to God, you guys fucking did. You know, black women? Yeah. That's why we're the protectors and shit, right? We have to ride or die because you guys are fucking sellouts. You sorry ass, some of you black men. I'm not saying all you black men. I said some of your black men.
I'm okay with being the protectors and all the stuff you name.
I know you're okay for calling a black woman that she ain't good enough, but I bet you won't say that to your mama, will you?
My mom is deceased, gangster.
Well, I don't give a fuck. My mama is too. And I would never say a black woman wasn't good enough to be the president.
Then you sound like you're full of that. You sound like you're full of that DEI shit. If you say you will never.
What are you talking about? Shut the fuck about DEI. You want to be on TikTok for that if it wasn't for DEI.
You just said.
Shit, dumb ass anyway. You let the white man walk on top of your ugly ass.
You just said you would never tell a black woman she's not qualified.
No, I wouldn't. Because you know what? I'm black and proud. You on television or TikTok and blast your ass like that. I would never do that.
But you would do it to a white man.
I so would.
Then you're racist. Then you're fucking racist.
They're the colonizer. What the fuck are you talking about? They're the colonizer.
Dark Waters.
I would never get on my knees for the colonizer.
Dark Waters is saying that she have front teeth. Dark Waters thinks that you do not have your.
I have a speech impairment. I had a stroke at 8 years old. I have a speech impairment. And if I had no teeth, guarantee my ninja at home would be saying hallelujah. Don't be ripping the soul out of that. Okay? So shut the fuck up. You know what I mean?
I like that. I like that a lot. I like that.
I'll be taking the ninja soul. You know what I mean? So I'll never have a white man in my fucking mouth. I never tasted a white man unlike you.
Okay.
How's the uncooked protein?
Oh my God.
How's the uncooked protein taste like? Because honey, I never had it. I could never get salmonella.
Well, here's a piece of advice that I'm being given by one of my viewers. Angie says, do not believe Gangsta Grandma. She's the one you fact checked, and she was spreading complete opposites of the truth. And her response was, why would you fact check me? You're an Uncle Tom for fact checking me. So he's saying that all you want to do is defend black people. You don't want to defend the truth.
Let me tell you something. I would defend black and brown people. Yes, I will. That's what being pro-black is. You feel what I'm saying? When we're wrong. But I will not go on TikTok and shit and blast the hell out of people. Now, the white man, sure I will, because they're the colonizer. Name me one thing the white man's done good for us.
You're being...
You can't. They don't even have a month. Do you realize how fucked up the maggots are? Let me tell you how fucked up the maggots are. You can put in, why doesn't the white man have a holiday for them? They don't. You know why? Because all they are is demons. They're the white. They are the demon seeds of the United States. They are. They're the colonizers.
I don't see how what you are doing and what you're saying cannot be constituted as racist. You sound like you don't like white people.
Okay, let me tell you something. If the truth is being racist, then so fucking be it. Because let me tell you this. They had nothing. What has the white man did? They pew up our damn schools. They grape our fucking women and shit. They're the number one. They are the essayers of the whole fucking damn bunch. That when I tell you they are the livers, they are. They are. So what the fuck is it? What do you want? You want to say hallelujah? They're not. They blame us for fucking every goddamn thing. They say, oh my God, black on black. Well, let's go on the white on white then. Let's go on the white on white.
I honestly...
Then there is black on black. And when we do black on black, at least when we pew somebody, we know who the fuck we're pew-pewing. They don't. They go into the schools and shit, and they unalive everybody. So what the fuck do you want? What the fuck do you want? Huh? Do you want the truth or do you want a fucking lie?
I don't.
And they colonized us. They colonized the United States, right? They did it to the United States. They come on the land and took away from the natives.
Wait, hold on. Gangsta Grandma is 2025. Ain't nobody colonizing in 2025.
I said they did. They colonized the United States. Now they say, oh, English was the first language. No, it wasn't.
Are you holding modern day white men and women in 2025 accountable for what their relatives did back in the 1700s?
Let me tell you, I am not talking about our allies. There's allies out there that use their white privilege to help us, and they understand what the people did in their past. They understand that. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the maggots that still do this shit, still say that they have white power and every damn thing else, and the Proud Boys and the Triple K and shit. That's who I'm talking about.
But you're talking about colonizing. Nobody is colonizing in modern times.
I said their ancestors colonized this place, not them. They're trying to make it YT, and it never was YT. That's why they hate us so much. Because you know why? Because their YT women love our BBC, and they're having mixed babies. How about that? They like that BBC, but they love our black men, but they sure don't like us though.
Okay. In the comments, white trash to treasure says our holiday is July 4th. So the 4th of July is our holiday.
It ain't our holiday, it's Juneteenth, actually. Hot damn. How about that? For our black folk and ass. How about that? They want to take that from us. But go, no, that's not even for white tea people. Shit. Nothing for your ugly asses. You guys can't even sit out in the sun. You guys burn like Krispy Kreme. You know what I mean? Be honest, Tim. Be honest. I cannot. I tell you.
I gotta move it on. I gotta move it on.
Let me tell you something, Tim. You say you like white women. I could never. After I see Melania Trump Puganati, I could never. So I give you some props. You take it for the damn team. I like chocolate coochie and chocolate dangling over white.
Okay, I didn't say all that. I didn't say all that. I just simply said Melania Trump. I said Melania Trump doesn't look. I don't see nothing wrong with Melania Trump.
You said this. You said, when I see my Nilia's coochie, it looked good to me. I said, I bet it did, because you'll fuck anything. Not me. I fuck chocolate. And chocolate looks a hell of a lot better than that white tea chocolate. Oh, God. And she said she's vanilla? That ain't no damn.
Listen, I've seen the nude photos of Melania Trump. She didn't look that bad.
They nasty. You fuck anything. You fuck a white dog anytime, Tim. And you know this.
I gotta go. I
That might be real though. That shit was nasty. Honestly, I guess I say white chocolate coochie every day over that shit. That was nasty.
I'm out.
I can never.
All right. That is gangster grammar. Now, listen, I think we all have probably seen the nude photos of Melania Trump by now. And I said she didn't look that bad naked. She tore me a new one for that. Wow. Am I really that wrong for saying that? What you don't like pig in a blanket? What are you saying there, Captain Intria? Real quick in the comments. Wow, look, we don't black ban or censor, so you guys are wondering why the hell would you take that? Because this is an uncensored show. So we don't block, ban, or censor. If you're MAGA, we don't block, ban, or censor MAGA either. So if you favor uncensored dialogue from all sides of the aisle, you're in the right place. I'm going to ask that you take time out to follow the program if you're currently watching us live on X, TikTok, or Instagram. We're live on all platforms right now. And of course, if you're watching us live on YouTube, give your boy a sub. White coochie definitely look different, says the truth. Well, it's all pink on the inside, is it not? Angie says, Gangsta Grandma, I don't like inbred, saltine, trailer trash, white demons. Damn. Someone says colored. Gangsta Grandma, oh my God, so much racism. She's a walking contradiction. Well, she's not here to defend that comment, but I will say that it's hard to hear what she's saying and not understand somebody that will suggest what she's saying is racist. Because if someone said the same thing she's saying about African Americans, the African American community would say that person is very racist. So it is what it is. Looking in the comments here, tap the screen, by the way, get the likes on. We might be able to reach 100, but we can certainly reach 90. Tap the screen, get the likes on up. Media is going to fry President Trump. I don't know about that massa act, because they've been trying to do that. Trump has been surviving the media. In fact, Trump has been frying a lot of media. How racist are Black Americans? 65% of them are like that. No. 65%? No, I don't buy that. I'm a Republican and I double tapped and subscribed. You keep it 100. You let me talk. My shit can only appreciate. We can disagree too. I like that. Salt, water, life. Thank you for the recognition. I appreciate that. Let me go back to the box real quick. And before we move on though, I want to make sure I didn't miss any super chats before we do. Tap the screen, get the likes on up to 90. We'll take the next caller at 90. Give white people what they can. You crazy. They ain't going to release those files, brother. I don't totally disagree with you, Captain. I don't totally disagree with you. It would not surprise me, and I hit an invite by mistake. It would not surprise me if the files we get do not please the people. People start saying that folks' names are taken out, things are redacted. It would not surprise me because, as I pointed out, Mark Epstein, the brother of the late Jeffrey Epstein, was on Chris Cuomo of News Nation yesterday. And he did state in addition to saying his brother would have never took his own life, he also stated that a reliable source has told him the reason Trump is favoring releasing the files is because President Trump is redacting the names of Republicans. So you're going to get these Epstein files with nothing but a bunch of Democrats in it. If the files come out and it is indeed only Democrats in there, that would be the clearest sign that something has happened. Because look, people are trying to have sex. That is not a political thing. Republicans, independents, people who don't vote at all, they all like sex. There's no way in hell that only Democrats hung around Epstein. That's crazy. So if those files come out and it's only Democrats, prominent Democrats that everybody knows, well, we already know British royalty is caught up in this. We've already had somebody lose their position in royalty overseas because of this. So it's clearly not just Democrats. So we'll see what happens with the list. Before I go back to the next caller, tap the screen, get us up to 90. I wanted you guys to hear this once more. This was President Trump with the Saudi prince today, chastising, literally trashing the reporter from ABC. And I can't bring it up because my computer's acting goofy right here. Why didn't Biden release the files? Criticize Biden for that. I'm going to say what I said earlier. If Biden didn't release the files because there was an ongoing investigation and the files were sealed, but if you want to criticize Biden, I always say reference Dan Bongino, reference Kash Patel. They were criticizing the hell out of Biden during the Epstein saga under Biden's watch. Now that Trump's in power and he is not releasing the files, well, let's go back and keep talking about Biden. No, that ain't going to work. The right hammered Biden over the Epstein files during Biden's reign. Now it's Trump's reign, and they want to continue talking about Biden, who has absolutely no power at this point. That is a classic, what do you want to call it, deflection. But no, Biden's time is up. He got criticized heavily during his time for not releasing the files. So it is what it is. Anyway, going back to the box, are we at 90? I'm glad the journalists are not afraid to ask these questions to Trump embarrass them. Yeah, the problem though is he ain't just embarrassing the reporters, he's threatening their whole fucking network. I mean, so the stuff he's doing is brutal. I mean, he's threatening ABC should lose their broadcasting license and things like that. You know, he talked about CBS should lose their broadcasting license. So he's making it clear that he's not a proponent of free speech. If he had his way, networks that speak ill of him would lose the ability to do so on television. He's making that clear. He has never threatened one bit to suspend the broadcasting license of Fox News or anybody on the right. He's solely going after left-wing publications. So he kind of wants, based on his own statements, it's pretty clear that he seems to want some sort of state TV faction where all the media speaks favorably of me. I mean, he kind of seems like he wants state TV because there are plenty of media outlets that speak awful of the left and he don't criticize them. So he does want to limit free speech. He definitely seems to want that. I'm from northern ancestry. When I'm discriminated, it's because their ancestors must have been loyal to the slave masters for indoor privileges. It's our history. I don't know where you're getting at with that. Are we at 90? We'll take the next caller. And thank you folks that are tapping the screen. We'll go to King Finn. Free from dictatorship that starts with killing AI bots, censoring shit. Well, it's coming from the president, Sean. King, good evening.
Welcome back to the kingdom. So, you know, I'm gonna hammer you on a couple of different points really quick.
Okay.
I wasn't gonna come on tonight, but after Mike got at you and Gangsta got at you, I thought I'll try to be the more palatable Negro today.
Thank you. I like palatable Negroes. That's what we like.
How about that? Okay.
Thank you.
So first of all, for all of you that are asking, why Biden did not release the files. Let's go here yet again. It was a closed investigation. The files were sealed, which means not even Biden could open the files. So please stop asking that ridiculous question. It makes no sense to continuously talk about that because it just makes you look more fucking stupid.
Well,
okay?
And of course I'm going to push back, aka fluff. In defense of the Trump supporters, it does make sense to push back and bring up Biden because it is a solid deflection from Trump. If you can get people talking about Biden or other presidents previous, it lessens the strain on Trump. So I agree with you, though. I agree with you 100% because we hammered Biden when he was in office about it. So his time is over with.
And if you look it up, the idea that you would ask that question looks dumb because the fucking files were sealed. Regardless, it doesn't matter. They're sealed. Okay. Next question. I want to go here with you because actually a couple of days ago, I followed you into a MAGA live.
Oh, that's where I'm at when I'm not here. I'm in MAGA live.
I know that, and I often do that. I do that under both of my accounts, my troll account and my regular account. And I just sat in there for a while where they were asking the question, are black people racist? Can black people be racist? Well, Go here. If you just take a couple seconds to look up the suffix of that word, you would understand that there's no way black people could be racist.
And I vehemently, I get hammered by a lot of African Americans, and I still stand by my statement. Black people can indeed, and some are racist. I don't buy this claim. Wait, I know what your claim is. It's that, well, black don't control the system. They don't have power, therefore they can't be racist. That ain't how it works.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
It is.
No.
In order for you to be able to use ism or ist, there has to be a system or a power. Now, if you were to say black people can be prejudiced, hell yeah, we can. If you were to say black people can be biased, you're damn right we can. Can we be mean, ugly, and all those other things? Yes, we can, but those do not have the three-letter suffix of ist or ism. Yeah. Which means that system is not fucking there.
Yeah.
Anyway, like I was saying,
I would argue that point until I'm blue in the face or until I look white, as some would say. I'll tell you this: there are plenty of folks that are, for lack of a better term, dirt poor, trailer trash white people that don't have any control of any mechanisms of the system, and blacks call them racist all the damn time. If you're suggesting that you got to be in control of the system, what?
But do they benefit from the said system?
Perhaps, but it ain't them. They're not controlling it.
You know they benefit from it, Tim. You know damn well they do. Even a dirt poor white man could get a job quicker than a black man could, and we both know that shit.
So you're telling me somebody like, let's say somebody like Oprah, somebody like Tyler Perry that controls their own movie studio, if Tyler Perry only decided to hire black people and not whites, that ain't racist? He controls a system.
Okay, I can see where you would come from that for, but I don't think that would still be racist.
Oh, come on now. That makes no sense.
Wait a minute. Hear me out. Because even with Tyler Perry owning his own shit, he would still be looked upon and frowned upon by only hiring black people. Just like every MAGA person, and unfortunately every liberal person, a lot of liberal black people say Obama didn't do shit for us. Well, Obama couldn't do all of those things because if he had, he would have been called a racist.
So you're telling me even black people in power that use their power against whites cannot be racist?
No, they can't.
That is, I will never agree with that. You can call me any name you want. I think that's crazy.
That would be discrimination. It'd be bias, yes. But think about it for a hot second. Didn't Tyler Perry go through something a little while back where they said he was an adult? He was an essayer. You don't think that was a part of the system to try to bring it down?
It could have been.
Bill Cosby's only thing he did before everybody found out all about all the essay and how all of that shit came out was because Bill Cosby tried to buy NBC.
Well, shit, there's some people that believe that what P. Diddy went through or is going through is because he fucked with the wrong people. I get that, but the notion that very wealthy, powerful black people can't be racist is crazy to me. I don't. So the trailer trash, dirt poor white person can be racist, but somebody like Oprah or Jay-Z and Beyonce with all of the millions of billions with a B, they cannot.
Biased or prejudice. Discrimination, biased or prejudice.
I think the way you're describing racism is racist. I mean, you're basically saying that white people, that only white people. That's crazy. I don't know what else to say about that.
How did our ancestors get here? How was this country built?
This ain't got nothing to do with ancestors. There was no Jay-Z.
Yes,
there was no billionaire like Jay-Z during the time of our ancestors.
What is the 13th Amendment?
You talking about the slavery?
Yep. I'm talking about due process, not due process, the whole thing about not being able to be a slave, right?
Okay.
The end of slavery. Okay, what happened right after that?
What, sharecropping?
Sharecropping, exactly. Now, what happened after that was the explosion and the boom of the prison population, which white people.
I'm not disagreeing with any of that. I'm just simply saying you make it sound like if the tables are turned and black people are in power and whites are subjected to them, somehow, some way, blacks can't be racist. I disagree with that.
I don't think they would be. I think it would be racist. I think it would be discrimination, bias, or prejudice.
So let me give you another example. This happens oftentimes when a white person goes into a black neighborhood or goes into a black bar and people are fucking with them, maybe even hits or attacks the guy, and they're yelling racial epithets while beating his ass. That ain't racist?
I don't know. I don't think that would be racist. But here's the thing. How many times does that happen?
Oh, it happens a lot. It actually happens. You got me defending the white man, and I'm not even trying to do that. But I think
you are defending the white man, aren't you? I did that for a reason. Get up off your damn knees.
Look, if I could, no. Look, if I had a white guy on here telling me, what was clearly racist, because a lot of whites deny racism. I hold them accountable for it too. But to me, you're doing the same thing in reverse. You're denying clear racism simply because a black person is racist. You won't give them the label.
I don't think that's racism, dude. I'm telling you. I would say prejudice or bias before I would say racist. No. I'm sorry.
To me,
I don't agree with that.
To me, just simply being hateful to somebody, because of their skin color, that's all you need. I don't think you need to be in control of systems to do that. I think any individual can be racist on their own. It got nothing to do with the system. The system may help you to be more racist, but you can do it on your own.
That's the reason a lot of these people on here walk around and say that shit, right? You haven't been into a MAGA live yet where they ain't called you a nigger, huh?
Hey, the TikTok don't like that. I don't censor. No, by the way, I have. It happened.
Where they ain't called you an N-word, right?
Well, it happens extremely often, but yes, I have been in MAGA lives where they didn't do that. It doesn't happen 100%.
I have gotten in lives on my own playing music. And people crawl in there, MAGA people crawl in there and call me an N-word. Within the first 5 seconds, if you listen to a couple of creators that be on in the morning, they give them a timeline. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to say it. Because they do it. They do it all the time.
I mean, I'm not gonna listen. I get you see some of the shit Gangsta Grandma and some of you guys. It ain't like if I go to the liberal side of the aisle, you guys are saying anything better. I mean, she's telling me I'm sucking it.
This has nothing to do with party. See, that's the common misconception. We're not even talking about party right now. We're talking about literally just the bigoted racism.
Okay.
I'm not even talking about party. It would matter less than the fuck to me because I think personally that MAGA is a front just for racism. That's how I feel. Name some other way you could believe that this shit is happening. They're deporting black and brown people. They don't care if they're citizens or not. They're black and brown, so they're suspect. The Supreme Court says, hey, yeah, you can do it. If they speak a certain language, if they look a certain way, and they're a certain color, you can get their ass out of here. What does that sound like?
I don't disagree that there is a significant racial element amongst MAGA, but keep in mind, there are black MAGA, there are Hispanic MAGA as well. So they're not trying to be racist against themselves, are they?
I talk to them too, and they are literally fucking lost. They are literally fucking lost. When you talk to some of those blagga or lagga, however you want to say it, They are literally fucking lost in the sauce. They have no talking.
How do you respond to this? Cindy Johnson in the comments rightfully points out black people call black people the N-word more than anybody else. People need to stop using that word. How do you respond to that? Because it is obviously viewed as racist when it comes from somebody white, but blacks do throw around the N-word all over the damn place.
I would say to her, if you want to say it, say it. Just don't be worried about the consequences that comes after it. Now, I'm gonna say this, and you're gonna disagree with me. Obviously, yeah, it probably does need to stop being used as much, but you need to understand that the ER of the word has been taken from our quote unquote YNs and the people in the black community that do actually use it. See, what we tried to do is take that word and reclaim it and make it a piece of power. Right?
Yeah, that's
but that
insane.
didn't exactly work out very well, right? It didn't. I'll agree with that. I try not to use it. I teach my son not to use it as much as he can, but of course he's out in these streets doing what he wants to. The boy 14, he done heard me say it a million times probably, and I probably shouldn't use it either. But the remainder is still there. You think you want to use it, go ahead and use it. You just better be ready for the fucking consequences.
Well, and that would be racism. If all of a sudden a white person used the N-word and they face consequences and a black person doesn't, then that's kind of being racist. I mean, you're saying the blacks...
Because we don't use hard ER, do we?
I don't... You're right, I disagree with that hardcore. Is that you can use it as long as it's an A and not a hard ER. I mean, so you're telling me if white people use it but they use the A instead of the hard ER, it would be acceptable?
I'll say this, and I've said this before. I came from Michigan, a small city outside of Flint, smaller city outside of Detroit. The city that I was in, where my grandmother stays, is a small city right next to another small village named Thetford Township. Thetford Township is one of the biggest places that the Michigan militia take place, where they train, where their headquarters is, the whole nine. Needless that I know, at the young age I was. That I was in Thetford Township when me and my uncle rode our bikes down the street. Needless to otherwise say, once those people in that red barn seen me, it was a lot of red trucks riding back for me and my uncle. And I had to hurry up and get in the house, and my grandfather got a big click out and let them crackers know what was going on. Okay? So I'm not, listen, all the way the mile back down the road, all I heard was,
Let me read this to you. This is what I put in Google. I just Googled the word racism, and it says definition is a noun, prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism by an individual, community, or institution against a person or people on the basis of their membership in a particular racial or ethnic group, typically one that is a minority or marginalized. So it makes it clear an individual can be racist.
Hey, you can go with Google if you want to, but I'm still going to say it's the system. I can really give less than a damn because that's my firm belief. I've never been held down. I've never been held down by another black person, but I have been held down by a white person.
Shit.
It wasn't black people riding behind me in their red trucks calling me,
I disagree with that. Growing up on the south side of Chicago, I think blacks can harm you as well, and we don't credit it that way. For instance, if you're in the hood and people are stealing from a store, and all of a sudden the store owner goes out of business or decides to close his shop, so you no longer have anywhere to shop and you got to drive across town to do the same thing, they hurt you by doing that. They actually hurt you by ripping that dude off. You just don't give them credit for doing it. There are plenty of things. I mean, shit, how many of us have had I think where I come from on the south side of Chicago, every adult I know has had their car broken into at least once or twice. That ain't white people doing that. They are hurting you constantly.
That's our own community hurting our own community.
So they get a pass?
I can understand that, but what I will say is not all of those carjackings came from just want, right? Sometimes there's need.
You need to carjack me? Based on what the hell is that?
When the gorillas get out in the street, you can't blame the zookeeper, right?
What are you saying?
When the gorillas get out in the street, who you gonna blame for that?
The metaphor you're using, to me it sounds like you're making excuses for very bad people.
You can believe that if you want. I'll say this: there are a lot more more white collar crimes that hurt more black people than they do white people, right?
I'm not disagreeing with that.
The whole thing right now with the whole thing right now with the economy and people losing their snap. Who is that hurting? Is that just black people or is that white people too?
It's hurting the country.
And who's doing that?
Well, it's coming by way of the administration.
Exactly. And what will we label that as?
What are you getting? I don't get it.
I'm saying it's a crime. This is a crime that y'all are witnessing firsthand.
I don't think you think Trump by suspending SNAP is committing a crime?
Yeah, I do. This is not a crime. In the history books, this is going to be one of the crimes that America committed against its own citizens.
No. Because you do realize most of America's history, there were no SNAP benefits. That's not a crime.
1962, but what you're not catching is this is going to go down as a crime in the history books.
Out of all the things that Trump has done that may go down in history as a crime, this ain't one. He done a hell of a lot more that would be, we could probably finagle the meaning to be crime, but canceling SNAP benefits is not it. I mean, what he is doing, he has a legal right to do.
Canceling, Tim. You do understand that. The big, beautiful bill is not just canceling SNAP benefits. Those two things are different, right? Okay. The SNAP benefits being canceled was one thing. The big, beautiful bill is another. And that's a crime that's going to last to what, 2028, 2030?
I don't favor it, but it's not like Trump is the first president that passed a piece of legislation that may affect people for years to come. But that don't mean it's a crime. That's a stretch to say it's a crime.
I put it to you like this: when it's all said and done and the history books are written, I'm telling you now, this is going to be listed as one of the worst things to happen to America. These people are literally right in front of everybody's faces, doing whatever the fuck they want to do to keep their pockets fat, and the poor are getting poorer. So when the poor start getting poorer and having a lot more problems than you think they had, what the fuck do you think they're going to do?
I don't argue that it could be a huge transition of wealth from poor to rich people, just like trickle-down economics under Reagan was considered that way, but it's not considered as a crime. I think you're stretching it to call. It may be viewed historically as something that was bad for America. I'm willing to argue with that. Same thing with getting rid of pensions, getting rid of unions. Historically, that has been bad for the working American, but that's not a crime.
I'm not sure I believe that. I'm still going to go with the crime because for me, it sounds like the rich are literally just stealing what they want. They doing what they usually do. They steal money. Yeah. They steal it from the poor. They steal it from people who are not as rich as them. And they keep moving about their business. How else would you be able to explain what happened to the money that was in the emergency campaign fund? You know, the slush fund.
I mean, I'm just being real with you, King Finn. The rich getting richer is a slogan that's been around long before Trump became president. That's been happening already. Yeah. Trump, it may have happened at a greater level under Trump. Trump may have accelerated it, but the rich have been finding. Well, think about it. Minimum wage has been held the same for 20 years. Obviously, that benefits the employers. That ain't Trump. That was happening before him. Is that a crime?
No, that's not a crime. Unfortunately, it should be, but it's not.
All right.
But that's not exactly stealing money, taking money from one place and put it in your back pocket.
I think you're being, I'm going to say something I know it's not going to be popular with my liberals, but I think you're being too hard on Trump, King. I got to move it on. Go ahead. I give you the last word.
Damn fluffing. See what I'm saying? Now you go to fluffing and shit. Now you got to start fluffing and talking about that bullshit. You know damn well what I'm saying. Even though you don't agree with it, I could really care if you didn't. But I will say this. The next time I see your ass on the Mega Live, I'm coming for your head. And everybody know when I say that, I'm serious.
You're going to fuck around and end up getting attacked by a bunch of white boys. Thanks for coming through.
I do, because then I have a chance to stomp their ass out. Peace.
All right, holla at you, King. Good talk. Alter Ego. Thank you for the good galaxy. I appreciate that. Looking in the comments though, don't want to make sure. Dorjan Bennett said, "Whoa, handsome conservative with the Blue Angels." Shout out to you, my God. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you. Why did Biden fall off that bike? Age, loss of balance. I mean, shit, you don't have to be Biden's age to fall off a bike. I see that comment, Georgia and Bennett. Why did Biden fall off the bike? Could be anything. I mean, I've seen younger people fall off bikes. Vertigo, maybe he didn't eat enough in the morning. I mean, I know we want to say it was dementia and old age, which it could have been. But listen, you woke up in this morning and the blood rushed to your head too. I mean, it could be a million reasons why somebody fall off a bike. I'll tell you this though, he got back on. He didn't give up, so it is what it is. But the old man, just to be riding a bike at the age Biden was when he fell off that bike, is probably beyond the scope of most Americans. I mean, Biden is what, 83 now, so he had to be. It was during his presidency, so he had to be in his late 70s at best. I mean, how many Americans are riding bikes at 78, 79 years old or more? I mean, a lot of us ain't even around at that age, much less riding a bike. So, look, when this shit starts happening to Trump, I don't want to hear no Charlie Kirk type shit about he don't deserve what's happening to him when you're saying fucking shit like that. I just want to tell you that. When Trump starts to be in health decline, and that will eventually happen, just understand all of the things you supported that was done towards Biden, because it's going to come back. It's really going to come back. And it shouldn't. It shouldn't be that way. You guys are making fun of the elderly, which you believe. If you believe Biden has dementia or some other kind of mental illness that's leading him to fall and, repeat shit and talk out of context. If you really believe he has dementia, you literally are making fun of an elderly man with dementia, or an elderly man with a mental illness, rather. In no book should that be acceptable, to make fun of an elderly person with a mental illness. I mean, we all got, we've all had or, have or have had grandparents and shit like that. Is it cool to do that now? Make fun of the elderly when they got mental illnesses and stuff? Is that now becoming the end thing? Georgia Menace says, now this low self-esteem, goofy racist. You're saying my last caller was lacking self-esteem and was a goofy racist. Angie says, I'm Mexican. Bet you if I had, I'm Mexican. Bet you if I hard are you, you would change your mind on minorities with no power, can't be racist. That's a great point. Because my last caller was saying you can't be racist unless you're in control of the system. And he's saying that he's saying that he is Mexican, and if he calls a black person an N-word with the hard R, the ER, all of this other shit, blacks will see that as racist, even though Mexicans do not benefit from the system. It's a good point. It's a good point. That is a really, really good point. Because Marco Rubio is Hispanic. Imagine him calling somebody the N-word with an ER. Or Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz is also Hispanic. Hey, it's a good point. Dorjep says, dude is a victim with self-hate and low self-esteem, uses the N-word to express the hate they have for each other. I expected my last caller to get hammered with that. I disagree with him on blacks can't be racist. And I get a lot of African Americans that do not like me saying that, but I think an individual can be racist in their own merit. And I don't start putting these distinctions in there between bigoted and prejudice, because if somebody that is white does something that is bigoted or prejudiced towards a black person, we call them racist. So all of a sudden, when it's done in reverse, it's suddenly wrong. I don't agree with that. Puerto Ricans and Dominicans say it all the time. Well, you gotta be accepted to the cookout to say it, because like I said, Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz are also Hispanic, and it would not be accepted coming from either one of them. It would not be accepted. USA has a lot of different races, ethnicities. It's not a homogeneous nation. True. Let me go ahead and continue on. Tap the screen. Get us on over the 100,000 hump. We're pretty much there. Get us on up to 110. 100. HUNNIT. Y'all can do that. Tap the screen. My damn computer is not acting right. Harris leads with intellect and intention. Trump follows impulse and ego. Her words seek understanding. His are merely attention. I do agree with that. I actually do agree. Even though I say it all the time, I think Kamala Harris was a bad candidate. I think she had better qualifications on paper than Trump. Other than President Trump served his first term, he had some accomplishments like the economy and things like that. But if you look at Kamala Harris' resume, her climbing up the political ladder in California, district attorney, attorney general, then she became a U.S. senator, and then she became VP. That's a resume of somebody on the way to becoming president. It really is. When you look at Trump, he's a successful businessman. I'm going to give him credit for being successful. People point out the bankruptcies, but I'm going to give him credit for being a successful businessman. And other than that, he was really a celebrity. He had his own television show, The Apprentice. Starred in he not starred, but he performed cameos in a couple episodes of Home Alone. I mean, for the most part, Trump's ascent to the presidency, based on his resume does not look like somebody that's qualified to become president. Kamala Harris' resume does. However, when it comes to politics, it's not always about what you know. Your job is to sell yourself to your constituents, sell yourself to the voters. And if you do a good job at that, it doesn't matter what's on your resume. George Santos, the disgraced congressman from New York, is a perfect example of somebody with no resume and was able to win and become a congressman. It's about selling yourself. And Trump is a much better salesman than Kamala Harris was, which is why I say she was a bad candidate. I didn't say she had a bad resume. Her resume is thorough. Her resume is what you look for in somebody ascending to the presidency. But you still got to be able to talk your way into it, and she couldn't do that. And by the way, it ain't got nothing to do with her versus Trump. She couldn't talk her way in through the primaries against the Democrats. They were all beating her too. They were all beating her. So she was not a good candidate. It's as simple as that. Looking in the comments, Democrats stick together and talk together. What's that saying? Around yourself with friends and you will become one. I don't quite get what you're saying, Alex, but I'll go back to the box. Thank you folks for tapping the screen, getting your boy over 100. We'll go ahead and start out with Takesha Bowie. What do you mean Kamala was? She did terrible on the border and didn't even know where it was. Can't secure a border, much less a country. I'll tell you this. When you hang on a second, Takesha. You know how many things Trump has said that makes no sense, such as soldiers defending the airports during the Civil War, 100 years before the invention of the airplane. But because Kamala Harris don't know where the border is, you're gonna hold her. Trump has said all kinds of shit that don't make sense. So it's a lot more to that. And when you say that she didn't do anything about the border, that's not the vice president's job. Think about all the great legislation that Mike Pence is responsible for. There's nothing there. The vice president doesn't do that. J.D. Vance has been vice president for a year. What has he actually accomplished? What do you have on the resume of J.D. Vance? Vice president don't do shit. Takesha, good evening.
Nothing.
Yeah.
If Kamala was over the border, what did Mayorkas get? Why did they bring Mayorkas up on impeachment charges?
That's another good point. Because it ain't the VP's job to do that stuff.
Exactly. They need to cut that out and leave that later alone. Listen, check this out, Tim.
I'm listening.
Something happened today that bothered me.
Was I involved in it in any way, fashion, or form?
No.
Thank you. Good.
It was when the Saudi prince was in the Oval Office.
Okay.
And a reporter asked him about having that journalist on the live. And you know how Intel said he did that. And Trump said he didn't know anything about that. Why do he keep going against our Intel, Hanson?
I don't. You talking about Khashoggi? Khashoggi, the one that they, yeah. Look, at this point, it's, I can't fault Trump for doing what's always been working. Anytime Trump is cornered, his go-to response is, I don't know anything about it. He didn't know who David Duke was. He didn't know who Nick Fuentes was. Michael Cohen was barely his lawyer. He didn't know who Stormy Daniels. That is what he does. He don't know anything about it.
I'm talking about undermining our intel, because our intel said he did have. Now you over there having a big feast like you preparing the Lord's Supper for this murderer.
Yeah.
What's going on? But you fought tooth and nail not to feed the American people they stamps. But you throwing this big lavish feast for somebody from Saudi, from another country.
Listen, Trump,
when is America gonna be first?
That ain't gonna happen under Trump. I really think that Trump is kind of operating on his own best interest because he is befriending folks that have been on the terrorist list. I mean, the same thing with the nation of Qatar. We were not favorable to them. They come up with a jet for Trump, and suddenly they're our allies. I mean, we saw what happened with Putin on the red carpet. I mean, Putin's an enemy to the United States. How Trump treated him like a dear friend. Trump is doing what is in the interest of Trump. So making friends out of enemies, those enemies may be willing to shower President Trump with lavish gifts and things like that. And he'll go for it.
What kind of president is that, Hanson? How does that help us?
It doesn't. It doesn't.
I'm just so disappointed. I honestly, I really am. And then to come out and say, yeah, I want them to sign it so we can get this over with. Donald Trump, you knew them folk were going to sign that thing and you didn't want it to seem like you would lose the control of your party. That's the only reason you came out and said that. And now Mike Johnson want to take stuff out because of victims that really weren't proven to be guilty. Just so their names were. Baby, first of all, Tim, we can't get that information because Pam Bundy opened up the case again. Yeah. You cannot give evidence from an open investigation.
But that should not be on Pam Bondi. The fact is, the only reason she did that, because Pam Bondi is you said jump, sir, how high? The only reason she did, Trump asked her to open up an investigation against prominent Democrats. So now that's a shield.
And if she had any morals, she would have said, I can't do that. Because you already in trouble for what you did when it came to Letitia James and Comey.
What I don't get.
The judge said that you signed off, that you had read the charges, and the charges hadn't even been written out yet. That's what she in trouble for. Y'all just doing anything.
Listen, I get it. I can understand Trump doing it because, like I said, I can't fault the man for doing what works for him. What I don't understand is why all the people orbiting around him do not seem to notice what has happened to people before them and how much they've had to pay a price for doing it. Pam Bondi is an attorney. She knows what she is doing is wrong. You know there will be a reckoning one day. You're going to lose your ability to practice law. I mean, you're going to go down in history for you know what you're doing is wrong. So I don't know why Pam Bondi is doing it. I understand why Trump is doing it because he's getting away with it, so be it. Hell, give me all the power. But Pam Bondi, okay, you might get pardoned by Trump, so you don't go to jail. They're going to take your ability to practice law and you're going to go in the history books in the wrong damn direction. I don't get why she's doing it.
The man said in the meeting today that before he came out, they let him know inflation had gone down. Inflation is 3.1%. When did they tell you that, Donald Trump?
Well, I can't fault Trump totally because he's taking a page from.
They ain't told him that. He's lying.
Okay, and I'm willing to agree with you on that. I do believe Trump is painting the economy in a manner that is totally dishonest. But I'm simply saying that Trump is taking a page from Biden's playbook. Biden was also telling us the economy was doing way better than most Americans perceived.
Tim, on paper, the economy was doing good. I don't care what you say. And let me say this because you keep saying this. The way the economy is now under Donald Trump is proof that that was not his economy the first time he was in office because he would have shitted it up just like he messed this one up. On paper, y'all never did go look at Biden's economy on paper. Y'all was just looking at, hold on, you was looking at the prices in the stores, which corporations, which the corporations were taking prices up. They went to Congress, tried to do a bill for price gouging. Republicans turned it down. So don't keep doing that. I could go back and get Biden's numbers to prove your scud head wrong.
And I'm going to, oh shit, I didn't mean it. I'm trying to reset my computer, but it turned out the damn lights. But what I was going to say is that nobody lives on paper, Takesha.
I don't care. Just because you don't live on paper, it doesn't mean it's not true, old ugly boy.
God, why you guys gotta be terrible? Why you guys gotta get personal with your guy?
Cause I'm sick of you. Just because you don't want to believe what's on paper does not mean it's not true.
I'm gonna say what I simply said, because if
say you was married. You married on paper, but you out here with 4, 5, 6 different women every night. That mean you ain't married.
No, I'm still married. If I got still, but hear me out. What you're doing is spinning things the way the Trump administration. Look, the stock market is. Hold on. This is how a lot of folks on both sides of the aisle will tell you the stock market is performing at record highs or the Dow is doing great. Well, most Americans are not using that to gauge whether the economy is good or not. So that's what Biden was doing.
That's not what I'm saying, Tim. What I'm saying is this. On paper, Biden's economy was good. In the actual stores, it was not. On paper, Trump's economy is not good. And in the stores, it's still not good. So check this out. He double loss. It ain't good on paper, and it ain't good in the store.
I'm just going to tell you, most Americans are judging it based on what's happening in the store. So I don't give a damn what Biden's economy is doing on paper. If when we go to the store, we can't afford groceries, his economy ain't doing good.
Tell the corporation to stop price gouging.
They're going to price gouge under everybody. But I'm just...
And let me say this right quick. The tariffs was so good. They're bringing in so much money, $17 trillion. The price is going down. Yeah. Hey, I'm going to take some of the tariffs off for affordability for the American people. Either they help us or they hurt us. You got to make up your mind.
Well, the man does say shit that don't make any sense, and that's a good example of it. I mean, the tariffs are supposed to be so great that you're removing them. Now, that doesn't make any sense. I'm not going to argue with that.
What kind of sense do that make to you?
It makes none whatsoever. But like I said, I can't fault the guy for doing shit that works. I mean, that crazy stuff, his side is eating that stuff up.
It works because they're not paying attention, because they're looking at him with hearts in their eyes instead of getting the wax out their ear.
I'm just picturing that. With the hearts in their eyes.
They treat Trump like Pepe Le Pew. Treated the doggo. Pepe Le Pew just grabbed the skunk and just hugged him with full of love. These people are Pepe Le Pew.
How do you get that kind of power, though, Takesha? How do you think Trump got? I mean, because Trump is very well loved by MAGA.
I'm going to tell you what he did, Tim. He never stopped campaigning. See, if you keep telling people something over and over and over and over again, it starts to sink in and they start to believe it. That's why he never stopped having rallies.
So what I said about Trump is correct.
If you notice in those rallies, he would say the exact same thing.
It's working. So I was right then. So I was right then. Compared to Trump, she was a bad candidate.
She was not a bad candidate. She just wasn't a shyster. Like Trump. Trump was a shyster.
Oh my God. He's not a shyster.
He's a shyster. He's a shyster.
The man just knew how to sell himself and tell people what they wanted to hear. I mean,
he sold himself all right, and now people poor because they bought him. Yeah.
Well, he still has 3 years left, so get a man a chance.
No, he don't.
What are you saying? What are you getting at?
I keep telling you, JD, they prepared JD finna get with Erica Vance. They finna be a power couple, and they gonna run the White House.
You think we're gonna have JD Vance with Erica Kirk as the first lady?
Yeah, he gonna get rid of his wife.
Oh no,
They're not gonna accept you, Miss Vance as a first lady of the United States. No, Tim. No.
That would be.
They want her to be Christian, Tim, but I've always learned that in order to lead, you got to be a man that leads. She ain't saying nothing to follow. That's why she hadn't converted. She know her husband ain't for real in the Christian faith, so why should she convert when she ain't seeing him doing nothing?
Wow. That's a strong statement. I can't push back on that. Because I say that all the time, is that the many of the folks in this country that are claiming to be the most God-fearing do not look very godly to me whatsoever.
You know what, Tim? I realized the other day, the saying is true. There is no love like Christian hate. Because the people that claim to be Christians are so hateful and they are so entitled and they're so selfish, Tim. They don't have the heart of Christ. So yeah, that's why I don't say I'm a Christian. I say I'm a follower of Christ. Because everybody used the word Christian, but nobody shows to be Christ-like.
I can't argue with that. I cannot. There's a TikTok video on social media floating around of this girl that is. I mean, it's not real, but the people she's calling don't know it. She's calling churches with a baby crying in the background and asking the church could they pay for her to get some. Could they help her get some baby formula? So she's making it sound like she has a starving baby in her presence, and she doesn't have any money and is asking, can they simply help her get some baby formula? And they're telling her no. They're actually, I mean, they're telling her no.
I'm gonna say this two ways. Those churches should be ashamed of themselves. Because when somebody needs some help, you ought to help. But then again, Tim, God is in everything. And if you call the church lying, which is against what God tell us to do, then you probably gonna get some answers that God gonna tell them folks say no. Because you calling that line.
I would be more understanding of that if there were not a real world scenario known as Joel Osteen when that city in Houston was flooding.
Yeah, let me tell you, so Joel Osteen is crazy. But that's why. But see, Tim, that's why I said many be called, but few chosen. A lot of people say they've been called, but they were not chosen. You could call yourself into the ministry, and you call yourself into the ministry for gain. You want fortune and you want fame, but God ain't called you into the ministry. You called yourself because he has not chosen you. You're going to know when somebody really being called by God because they walk going to be different.
Well, Joel Osteen, I know some big booty girls where they called by God because they got a hell of a walk. I don't know.
You know what, Tim?
Like, baby, shit, your ass. So what do I say? Your ass was called by God.
I got to pray over you. I got to pray over you because you just went too far now.
I'm just saying.
What they got to do with being called?
You said they walk is different. I've seen some chicks with the stilettos.
I can't stand you.
Man, your ass is called by God.
Fluff head, boy.
I'm just saying. All right, Takesha. I'll see if I get called by God later on tonight. I'll stay by the phone, but I appreciate.
Now, he ain't gonna call you. You might well just go on, take your phone off the hook and go to sleep because he definitely ain't finna call you. Not even to talk to you.
That's mean. Why can't God call me?
I'm just telling you, we're in a town today.
Isn't there a song that says Jesus is on the main line? Tell him what you want.
Your line has been disconnected.
Oh, come on. That ain't the remix. That ain't how the remix go. Takesha.
I know. Have a great one, Tim.
You too. Appreciate it. Looking in the comments. Wow, come on now. Jesus, God ain't gonna call me. What have I done wrong? I just want to talk to the man. Gangsta Grandma be calling you, says I'm done. Well, Gangsta Grandma is not going to be a friendly call compared to Jesus. They get passes on crimes. USA is a corrupt country. Hypocrite. You don't generally get to be super wealthy without stepping on a few people. And America is at the top of the food chain, and we obviously have stepped on a lot of people. I think what we're doing what we're on course of doing with Venezuela is going to constitute stepping on them. In my opinion, if President Trump goes into Venezuela, boots on the ground, it's going to be probably one of our most unpopular conflicts in recent memory. I actually believe the Venezuelan conflict will be even less popular than the Iraq conflict. And you already know historically where the Iraq conflict, everybody believes that what happened in Iraq now was unnecessary. And we lost like 6,000 people, not to mention how many other folks are fucked up. And of course, how many people they lost I think they lost about 1 million people in the Middle East because of that. Looking back, now that we can Monday morning quarterback what happened in Iraq, nobody believes that was necessary anymore. So I think the Venezuelan conflict is going to be even more so. I think there's at least half of the country right now that does not think what Trump is doing in the Venezuelan in the Caribbean theater. I don't think half of America thinks that is legit what he's doing. And that's right now. He hasn't even put boots on the ground yet. Right now, that's not popular. So yeah, if he ends up going into that country telling us it's all about fentanyl when everybody realizes you don't send that many assets to deal with the cartel, I think most people know right now he's not telling the truth. So I do believe that will be a more that war conflict, whatever the hell it is. We don't know how much resistance the Venezuelans can put up against our people, but it will probably be more unpopular than the Iraq War. I don't think it'll last 20 years, but then again, they didn't think Iraq was going to last that long. They thought Iraq was going to be a pushover. So who knows? It could easily spread into neighboring countries like Colombia and other countries. I mean, the way we've been viewing the Hispanic community, my guess is none of them down there really favor Trump, other than maybe the president of El Salvador, because we paid him money to take people and put them in CCOT. Other than that, probably most of Latin America is not a big fan of Trump. So it could easily spread, and who knows? But I do believe that would be one of the most unpopular conflicts in recent memory. Nevertheless, folks, I do appreciate the 108 foul. You guys know how the program is ran. We don't block, ban, or censor anybody. We're always MAGA friendly. If you enjoy this type of open dialogue from all sides of the aisle, I'm going to ask that you follow us if you're watching on Instagram, X, or TikTok, and give your boy a sub if you happen to be watching on YouTube. Until then, I'll see you folks tomorrow. You guys take care and, of course, stay safe. Thank you for tuning in. And I think I got a